Hey, everybody, we are live and really excited beyond measure to present my friend Michael. David,
We're
Michael,
not friends. We're not friends. We're not
Michael
friends.
Davis, for one thing.
You
But,
just give me my weed, man. We're not friends. You just give me my weed.
and Michael is best described as an artist, writer, mentor, entertainment executive. And this comes from Justice for Michael David.
Oh,
And,
you don't want to read that.
oh, okay.
You don't want to read that description, man. That's not that would not be nice for people.
Uh,
Um, you want me to say what I do?
yes,
Because
sir.
people don't know what I do.
Absolutely. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'd like to get three separate careers. The one that's near and dear to my heart is my mentor program. Bad Boy Studios. I'm proud to say I've been blessed enough to be able to be instrumental, maybe that much in some huge people who've come out of my program, right? So that's the thing that I'm most passionate about. I was trained as an artist, Pratt Institute, High School of Art and Design, and for a while I was an illustrator. I'm still an illustrator, but that used to be my main career until I decided to go into comics and lose all sense of self. But comics are not nearly. My comic book part is just a part of what I do. The other part is that I'm also an executive, an entertainment executive. I've run divisions at Viacom, Polygram. I was president and CEO of Motown Animation and Filmworks, which was the film and television arm of Motown. My title with Simon & Schuster was creator, which is badass, right? So that's been. And I speak. I get a lecture. I used to do a lot more public speaking and lecturing because those gigs pay pretty well. No, because that's where my passion is. I want to reach young people. So, but then I got sick, and then the pandemic happened, and then like, who wants to go speak in public? When Republicans may be in the audience, trying to kill us all with that bullshit. Don't take it. It's like my hands off my body. Really, really? They're gonna use that hands off my body as a reason they don't want to take the vaccine. But forget politics, man. I'm not gonna talk about that tonight.
Okay. My mom is saying he's Michael Davis, like Mark Davis.
Like Michael?
No, Mark Davis is like Michael Davis. It's like
Mark Davis is like Michael Jackson. It's like Michael Jackson and Sammy Davis.
I understand.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson.
Well, it's the first thing I thought about. I was thinking.
I'm a big Mike fan, man.
Hey, Mike, I miss Mike. Hey, first of all, how did you come up with the Black panel? Because it's genius. You've had everybody from Shaq, Neo, J. August Richard. I don't know of anybody of note that's a Black celebrity who's been at Comic-Con who hasn't been at your panel, except maybe me. I've been there, but I haven't been on it. But
Well, I don't like you. Why should I put you on it? I mean, as a matter of fact, if your mom was in there, I'd be talking to you like a different way, motherfucker. There used to be a panel. It wasn't an official. Am I centered? Because I'm
no, you're centered. You're centered. Yeah, you're centered there. I'm centered. We got split screen, so you got the
yeah,
right.
See, I look like an idiot. Right.
Yeah. You got the right, and I got the left. Yeah.
That better? See,
Yeah.
I got hit. The side of my face is kind of messed up because I got hit with a 2x4 the other day. Not on purpose.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not on purpose. I don't understand why she was that upset. I just said she was ugly. No. There used to be these panels at Comic-Con. They weren't officially linked, but every so often a Black creator would come up with a Blacks in Comics panel. And basically, it was a forum about why Marvel and DC hate Black people, right?
Right.
And it was that kind of thing. and it wasn't very uplifting. My whole thing is, we each one teach one. That's my
Right.
That's my motto. I didn't create that. That was my cousin William T. Williams, who's an artist, and also the very first African American to be inducted into the Jansen History of Art, which is a definitive art history book. All the big art schools use it.
Mm-hmm.
But when he was first bestowed that honor, he said no. He said no because he said, until you recognize those artists who come before me, Horace Pippin, Roman Bidden, Horace Pippin, Roman Bidden. Oh man, every time I have this conversation, Betty Blaine said, these Horace Pippin. I know I've met a bunch of these people, and I always blank out. But until he recognized the artists who come before him, he can't be a part of that.
Right.
And they caved. Now you and I working in media, we know that when a book, any book, decides to add things we have to do with real people, they've got to get the rights for that stuff. They've got to do background checks. It's hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars to just add that, right? And I don't know. I mean, I'm sure that there are a lot of artists who would have done the same thing as my cousin. Okay, yeah, I'm sure of that. But he did that. He's also the person who came up with the Artist in Residence program for the Studio Museum in Harlem. Right? He's a phenomenal artist. So his whole thing was teach one. I started working for him when I was 10. Not really. He told me I'd be working for him. But what he really wanted me to do is get off. I was living in Rockaway, which at the time where I was living, not at the time, because
I know where that is.
At the time, it was okay. At one time, it was called the worst housing project in New York City, right?
Mm-hmm.
Something I'm very proud of now. So I was this is how bad it was. During the summer, my mother used to send me and my sister to Alabama for the summer, so we wouldn't be in rock. Now, sending us to Alabama, when at the time, when you crossing that border, said "Welcome to Alabama," and there was a Klansman on a horse, right? And I'm like, I didn't know, but I found out soon enough. But so this whole complaining and bitching and such, I'm with it because what they're talking about is absolutely relevant. But I would prefer to have conversations about how we can uplift and create and get our own shit going. So,
right.
And my cousin was a big inspiration in that because can I tell you a cousin story, which is the coolest thing ever?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? When I was, I had it here somewhere. Shit. When I was a kid, all I wanted to do was be a comic book artist. And as part of my employment, my cousin suggested that I up my game because I was just drawing with colored pencils, and he was like, "You need some magic markers, right?" Because that was closer to what they use in the industry. I didn't know anything about that. So me and my friend Dennis Jones, we went to Pearl Paint, which is the biggest, I don't know if they're still, I think they're still in New York, which was a city block of an art supply. It was the mecca of art supply stores, right? And we took out our drawings down there. Damn it, I just had that. We took our drawings down there, and we was asking the salesman what would be the best kind of stuff, that best market to color these things in, because we wanted to know. And my cousin told me to ask that question. They said, "You ain't buying any of these markers." They didn't say it like this, but this is what it sounded like. "You ain't buying any of these markers, boy. We don't want you messing up the subways." Boy, come on. Now, there was a white kid there who was younger than us, who just, picking, and at this time, these design magic markers look like, imagine being a 10, 11-year-old, and you're looking at this stuff, and you're an artist, or you want to be an artist, and there's all these beautiful colors and there's stuff that you didn't know existed, and we couldn't have it. But you know what? We were okay with it, and let me tell you why. Because we figured what would happen is my cousin would come down later, and we'd be hooked up. And because he was there, he'd probably buy more than just the $10 he gave us, right? And that's how. And that's what's messed up about that is that I was okay with being treated that way. I was okay with being treated that way because my thing is, at the time I was 10 or 11. Okay, fuck it, I was 28 years old. Okay. You know, what can I say? Because at the time, my goal was to get those markers, but because I was dealing with what these people were doing to me every day. I mean, I had a kid come up to me outside of a supermarket and just literally point her finger at me and say, "There's a nigger," and I'm
really?
like,
just like that.
Just like her parents are just like that. Yeah. So I'm like, all
Like
right.
an artifact in a museum or something.
It's like you're a nigger, and I'm like, who? And I was like 11. My mother was livid, but we was at a white neighborhood, and you know, that was something you didn't do, right?
I should think not.
Well,
Jesus, Lord, forgive me.
I'm starting. Sorry. So
Okay. No, I mean, hey.
my cousin did something else, something I didn't expect, and for a second it pissed me off, right? We go back, we're like, hey, they wouldn't let us buy anything. Why not? Well, because it was black or whatever. I don't know. This and that. But was there anybody? Oh, there's a white kid there. But you know, right. So he picks up the phone. My cousin belongs to a group of people who I call just simply cool. Unfortunately, he just passed away, but Sidney Poitier,
Simply cool.
Bill Duke, and my cousin all have this monotone kind of.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna tell you a little bit about our history, you know, and they're just this. Okay. I've never heard once. I've heard my cousin raise his voice, right? But he gets on the phone and he says this, and at this time he had just become this. I mean, this boy just he was in Life magazine. He's covering his work in Life magazine, right? When he first got out of, my educational track is exact. I just followed his. But when he first got out of graduate school, the Museum of Modern Art brought his painting, and from that moment, the sky was the world was his oyster. So he gets on the phone and he says, my cousin was down there, and you can hear the guy. Well, we didn't know it was here. We didn't know it was your cousin. Just that and the other. And he goes, well, you shouldn't do that to any black kid, right? And then and you can hear the guy on the other line saying, just trying to convince himself. And then the guy just goes, well, you know what? We don't care. He says, I no longer want my account there. He said, we'll be glad to close it. Then he calls his boys, and it's Kenneth Note, Sam Gilliam. I mean, some of the biggest artists on the planet, and they take their accounts up too, right? So that's the sort of stuff, you know. So that's my pedigree. So it's because of something like that, I started the Black Panel so we can empower people.
Yeah, you don't empower young people. Let me ask you, what is the state of Black entertainment from a perspective of Comic-Con during the pandemic? Oh, that's a broad one.
Well, I went to public school, man. I can't deal with stuff that. Okay, what do you mean? What is the?
Well,
what's happening? I mean,
I'll here. Let me encapsulate it like this. Okay, the jobs growth report is out. The economy is roaring. They say the jobs are back, and yet
not according to Fox News.
Okay, and yes, that's what I'm saying. From an entertainment standpoint, it seems like everybody's coming down to Georgia, but there are record numbers of homeless people.
Everybody's going down to Georgia?
For movie jobs.
Oh, well, you know, the devil went down to Georgia once too. So,
and so are the prospects for us better, worse? Are production companies who are Black able to get more money? Or is the pandemic just screwing everybody over, and we all have to pray at the altar of Netflix?
It's been a while since I've been an executive at a media company. So I don't like, even though I'm still dealing with stuff, I don't like to speculate on things like that. But I can tell you about Black comics.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's unfortunately, but it's always true. Whenever there's a Republican in the White House, the arts do better.
Is that
not
right?
Because
Really?
no. It doesn't do better because the Republicans want to expand the art. It does better because people were pissed that they want to take Big Bird. It does better, and it does better because they want to shut down Robert Mapplethorpe. They don't want the National Endowment of the Arts should be for Americans, an American art, So, and that energizes corporate America for some reason, right? And I guess because, you want to make sure that, because the Black and Latino market is something that, that we're brand loyal. Not Black people aren't as brand loyal as the Latino market. And I did this study. It may have changed since I did this study back when I was at Motown. But
so you mean those McDonald's commercials are a lie?
I'm sorry?
You mean those McDonald's commercials are a lie?
Which one? Like change back for $1? Yeah, that's pretty much done.
Wow.
No, what do you mean they're a lie?
Well, you're saying we are this brand loyal, and I was thinking about all the
we are brand loyal.
Yeah,
we are brand loyal, but not as brand loyal. And this is back 20 years. I did a study. Not me. When I was running film TV from Motown, I had a study commissioned. But let's put it this way: Magic Johnson Starbucks absolutely outgrows every other Starbucks in the vicinity, and they cater mostly to African Americans. And I tell you why. Because I learned this. I used to run Mr. Johnson's. Whenever I talk about business about Mr. Johnson, I got to use the word Mr. Johnson.
Yeah, right.
It's conditioning, right? Whenever Mr.
Well, I gotta ask, would you think imagine being at SoFi Stadium and not having his mask on?
Who, Mr. Johnson?
Yeah.
Why you want to out him, man? When I'm talking nice about him, man. You know what? This interview's over. I'm going back on CNN. You gonna out him? I didn't know anything about that. I don't watch TV. I watch two things on TV. Oh, your mom's there. I can't. I watch the news and
Hey, Michael, friend of yours?
I'm gonna share this. Actually, what can I say? No, she's actually very, 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 very different, right?
Nice.
Yeah, she's all right. She'll do all right. But
welcome.
She threw me off. So I forget what I was talking about with Magic Johnson, but Magic Johnson, he told me once when we was having a conversation about how I hated the Lakers because I'm from New York. He said we do things differently than white people. We do the same thing, but we do it differently. When we used to go to the theaters, white people would dinner in the movie, but I've got to get out of here because at 9:00 we have a showing. So you want to rush to start? But black people, whatever we eat at the movie, that was our dinner. So it could be a popcorn, or that in my case that fried chicken I snuck in. It could be. But then after the movies, we may do something else. We may go to the club when there was a video store. But that's just how we move in different circles, which is why authenticity is so important.
Yep.
Vanilla Ice never had a chance of being anything like an Eminem. He was a trivia question.
Yeah.
Because you have to be authentic, especially in hip hop. You got to be authentic. So Magic Johnson's authentic, and what happened, and what had happened was, there's still a lot of stuff on TV, which is the good time mentality, which is get some white boys to write something, which is what they think black people are like. That's still going on. Not as bad as it used to be, but so long story short, it's stuff like that I created the Black Panel for. Because it's hard out there for an artist, if somebody wants to be in the arts. And here's the thing about the arts, especially comics. The barrier of entry is a pencil. That's it.
A pencil.
The barrier of entry is a pencil. And it's like any other gig. If you're good at it, right, somebody will hire you. Comics is a little different, but there's so many people that don't understand that graphic arts are much bigger. Illustration is working for advertising agencies. I was the youngest creative director at Young and Rubicam back in the day, right? They didn't know I was that young, So yeah, that's now the best stuff in the planet is being done by black people. The biggest Static's going to be bigger than Black Panther. Absolutely, Static Shots and movies bigger than Black Panther, because where black kids go, where young African Americans goes the world, right? They may not want to live next to us, but in Japan, they all about the culture. They're all about black culture.
Wow.
Right?
In Japan.
I'm sorry.
In Japan.
Oh yeah. And but it's all go on the internet, man. You'll see rappers, right? Okay, what is this group? There's a Japanese group, which whatever they show.
You mean the boy band?
Huh?
Are you thinking about BTS?
Yes, whatever. They're like huge.
Yeah. Well, actually K-pop, Korean pop, but K-pop.
K-pop,
yeah.
Better known as the Michael Jackson, Belle Biv DeVoe, New Edition pop, Temptation pop.
Right.
So that's black culture on stage. Don't tell me that's not black culture. That is black culture, right?
Right. I think of the Samsung commercial with a black girl on the train, and she's staring at one of the BTS members. I'm not knowing enough to know which one it is.
I'm glad I haven't seen that, because I would.
Yeah.
And look. I'm surprised. I'm writing an article about it now, but BTS. I mean, I'm sure those guys are cool, things that and the other. But here's what the Beatles did. The Beatles acknowledged the shit that they got from black people. They acknowledged that, right? This song has got a backbeat. The Beatles song, it's got a black beat. We can't lose it. And this is back in 63, 64, whatever. I wasn't born then. But so right now, there's a push to just whitewash black history. They're burning books. They're banning books.
You're right about that, right?
And the people banning books.
It's crazy. It's crazy stuff. Crazy stuff.
It's like, because they're gonna ban it. Don't get me started. But the comic book, black comics, the creativity coming out of it is the best. It's the next big thing. The next big is, and I've been saying this for years, and I've been right for years. The next big thing that's going to come out of the movies is probably going to be Static, because it's homegrown and it's authentic. Static was off the air for 15 years or something like that. Yeah. And more kids know about Static now.
I want to share this in real time. Just to add on to what you're saying, do you realize that the two troll accounts that have been trying to get in here that I blocked are both Russian? They had another name, but when you block them, their real name comes up, and they're both Russian. Just to show you where we are. The Russian trolls are the font of all evil. and they're spreading or trying to spread racist stuff. Not allowed here, of course, because
absolutely, dude, man. I mean, and people falling for it. Tucker Carlson's on TV. Yeah. The Republican Party used to be first of all, the party of Lincoln. That party's over. You know, I was a history buff. I mean, history buff. I was a history minor in college. The Republican Party was formed as an anti-slavery party, right? Mm-hmm. They were steadfast against slavery. You know, you evolve up to the Southern strategy. One thing led to another. Because it used to be Democrats that used to be the overseer, right? So now the misinformation and that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to make as much unrest as possible, and they're succeeding. This is crazy. This is nuts. Yep. Which is why it's so important that we tell our own stories.
Yep.
And we stop this rumor bullshit.
3 Russians blocked. 3. Crazy. I'm not making this up.
Well, I don't understand why my comrades. Oh shit. Oh no, you're not making it up, man. I wish. Look, like I said earlier before, you got your social media shit on.
Share this around, please. Tag Russian troll. There you go. or your Zinni dumps Russian.
You're in the show. Everyone can see and hear you. Isn't that why I'm here? So, I mean, man, this is.
Hey, let's
understand, man. You know, black people should be a lot more racist, but I'm not. I mean,
hey, I gotta ask you, who is the best panel or panelists or both you've ever had on the Black panel at Comic-Con?
What is the best panel at Comic-Con? That'd be the Black panel.
The best panelist, yeah. The best means funniest.
I can't. Well, dude, man, I got some of the biggest entertainers, business people. I mean, yeah,
in more ways than one. Shaq is huge. People have no idea how big Shaq is until they see him in person, right?
He's a tall guy. Yeah, right. Were you at that?
Shaq is a giant.
You weren't at that panel. You weren't at that panel.
No, I heard about it. You know what?
You heard about it
because I had a late party that night.
Oh man, I had a party.
Yeah, I heard about that one too. Oh, I'm bored to hear about that one.
I haven't done a party in 5 years, but we're gonna do one this year. It's on. And you got to show. Not only do you got to show your Vaseline, not only do you got to show your vaccination card, but you got to show me your Democratic or liberal or independent card. Because I ain't letting no goddamn. I'm not letting them deny it, and I'm not dying of that shit. I'm not. You know, I got all sorts of things wrong with me already. My pre-existing condition is that I'm black. You know, I'm not dying. You know, so
what happened? Liberal Party says Cal. See that? Cal Berkeley, right here.
What's that mean?
On my Cal University of California. That's Cal. That's my liberal card.
Whatever. Cal University. My glasses need a new prescription. From here, it looks like it says cat. Yeah. You know, so.
Red Fox.
My mother says that you remind her of Red Fox as a compliment.
I knew Red Fox.
Oh, he knew Red Fox. What?
Yeah. He said other people tell him that.
Yeah. What do you remember most about Red Fox?
His freckles.
Yeah, he did have those freckles.
Well, I met him when like I was 10, right? I mean, I walked in when I was 10, and then later when I was running, it's like not too long after he stopped doing Sanford and Son, right? Mm-hmm. When I was still a kid, but I forget who I was with that he knew, who introduced me to him. But I reminded him when I met him, which was he was in the projects, looking for a building where this girl lived, like as if we all knew. Well, you know, I guess when you say, do you know, he was in the projects looking for a girl, and he's pimped out too. I reminded him of that. I don't think he remembered, but he was a good enough guy to go, oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, he didn't remember. Or maybe he could have, because maybe that woman meant something to him or whatever. So
I remember one of my favorite panels you had on featured J. August Richard. And I don't know if you remember that.
But don't you remember that, man? Who the guy that got up and handed him the mic?
Yeah, you know what? It just so happens. Funny you should mention that, because in honor of your appearance here, you'll never guess what I'm about to present. It is that this is Mr. J. August Richard right here. And here is that great moment.
Watch after he's finished speaking, watch me walk up to him and whisper.
Yeah, here it is.
Required to recite your resume on the spot, but I'll do it. Following Angel, I did a guest star on CSI Miami. Then I did a series called Conviction for Dick Wolf, which was the fourth in the Law and Order series. It went for 13 episodes. I was in New York, had a great time. After that, I did Raising the Bar for Stephen Bochco, who's famous for NYPD Blue. We did that for 2 seasons. Hold on. Oh, no, I'm not done. I am not done. I did the 4400. I did Warehouse 13. I did Arrow. I did Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I am doing the lottery. And I am doing a show called Girlfriend's Guide to Divorce for Bravo, which comes out in December.
Watch this.
Thank you very much.
The moment is lost. I did want to do this, but... Let's do it anyway. I'm so tired.
Michael Davis would say this is the black panel. You only get it here.
That was man. That was classic. That was like
people. There's black people. You know.
You see. So you want to go back?
Do I want to go back where?
We sat down in that room and I said, "Hey, you're gonna be the greatest receiver to ever do this."
Let me go back. Sorry about that. All right. So you said go back, right?
No. I said the great thing about the black people is that there's almost as many white people there as there are black people.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because black culture is youth. Black culture is youth culture all over the world, and I think the best shot that we have to expand our media power is comics. And I mean, look, Golden Pond was a great movie, but it didn't break $40 billion on the first weekend, like superhero movies do. And I don't care who you are, with all due respect to Martin Scorsese, but that's the only one I want to give respect to. You have an actor who's talking shit. The guy from Star Wars, he's talking crap about comic book movies and comic book fans and all the rest of that. And the motherfuckers dressed up as a villain in Star Wars.
Right.
Like, I don't really appreciate it. Because him dressing up in a movie which George Lucas was inspired by nothing but comic books, and he'll tell you that, he's gonna complain about it.
Oh, by the way, hey, Michael.
We should have more people like David Caruso in the world.
Yeah.
Remember David Caruso was on NYPD Blue. Was it NYPD Blue?
Yeah, he was on
huge star.
Miami Vice. No, not Miami.
No. I think it was NYPD Blue. Okay, Google. When did David Caruso grow up? Never mind. I don't want to know. Okay, Google, stop.
Hey, Michael, before we get too far, we should, in case anybody wants to know, that J. August Richard segment started because some lady in the audience questioned his resume.
You wanted to know why he was on the Black Panel?
Yeah.
Because the Black Panel don't have nothing but players up there.
Right. No, and I was thinking, oh my God, that's why I fired up the camera. I was like, I can't believe.
You should always fire up the camera, man.
I can't believe somebody would actually ask a person, why they're on the Black Panel. as if they had no business being there, right?
You know, if I was gonna be a dick, I would say, "Why are you here? Why are you at the black panel?" That's what. I'm not that guy.
This was a random lady. She actually got up to the mic and said it, didn't she? I mean, she got straight up to the mic and let her rip. And I'm thinking,
that's why I had.
You know what
I wasn't the answer for the podium. That's why I was not gave him the mic, right? Because his mic,
put her on the camera.
well, his mic was only at a certain level, right? But my mic, you know. So
Right.
I gave him the mic because you don't. First of all, you don't do that. I've had that happen to me. I was in a pitch meeting at NBC, which they called me on, so I can rewrite something, right? I'm pitching the idea for me to rewrite this thing. So believe it or not, I may have a over the top personality, but that's only when people people only think it's over the top when it doesn't include them in my narrative. You know, they have no reason for me. They have no reason because you know I'm sure you've heard all these crazy rumors about me. You know, I mean, and people don't understand that shit that has weight in the entertainment business because rumors in the entertainment business can kill you, right? I mean, hey, what actor? Name an actor with a gerbil problem. You know exactly what I'm talking about. name, you know, and bad stuff stays with you. Name a Super Bowl halftime show.
Janet Jackson.
Yeah.
I was there.
But name a Miss America.
Which one?
Name a Miss America.
Pia Wurzerbach. I met her. I actually interviewed her. It's on
Name another one.
Another one. Linda Carter.
Name another one.
Oh my Lord. I'm running out of Miss Americas in my head.
You know Vanessa Williams?
Oh, Vanessa Williams, of course. Vanessa Williams, yes.
That's to your African American comment. That's the go-to when I ask people to name people like, oh yeah. Michael Jackson.
She was on TV this week.
Prince.
My mom said Vanessa was on TV this week. That's what Mom was saying.
Oh, Vanessa Jackson.
She was saying that Vanessa Williams was on TV this week.
She's fierce. Okay, but check it out. Michael Jackson, not arguably the biggest entertainer in the history of entertainment. Michael Jackson, the biggest entertainer in the history of entertainment. In the history of entertainment. Prince.
Yep.
The Rolling Stones. All some of the biggest stars on the planet have done halftime. Bruce Springsteen have done halftime shows. But you went right to Janet.
Yep.
Right? Because of what happened.
Yep.
Right. So.
Well, I remember I went down at halftime. My friend was on the 45. We were on the 20-yard line. This was the 2004 Super Bowl, the New England Patriots versus the Carolina Panthers. And my friend, Beth's brother, said, "Did you see that? He took her bra off." And that's why.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
That's what they said. They had straight on view because we had a side view, right? We knew something happened.
That wasn't his intention.
Well, I'm not saying that. I'm just telling you what my friend said right after it happened at halftime. Okay.
Well,
because
that was Janet Jackson's show.
Oh, yeah.
It was Janet Jackson's show. Somehow, first of all, the people who put the show on, they all got fired. That was MTV that put on that halftime show, right? Yep. I know they got fired because one of my series, the people that were doing my series were in that group of people who got fired.
But hey, don't you think that, because we were talking about this before, don't you think they did that on purpose for ratings, for talk, for social media?
No, because Janet Jackson is a straight up beacon of black girl empowerment. She would never do anything to upset the.
So that was a total accident then.
Well, here's the thing. Of course it was. Well, here's the thing.
They had a campaign against her and her brother at the time.
Well, here's the thing. Like I was about to say that. I still think your mom is cool. You know, you're cool. Sorry about
Thank you. You talked about Bill Duke. He gave us our first bathroom telephone.
Yeah.
We were at the,
She went to the bathroom and stuff. What? I missed that.
I used to volunteer for the Oakland Black
Black Filmmakers Hall of Fame.
Film Fame. I used to do that every year. My company gave me two weeks off to do it.
Why don't you untie her so she can talk?
Oh well, she wanted to. She didn't want to be on camera, but she.
Oh, that's right. Because I'm telling you, I like you, man. I know you tied it down because she's trying to warn you about it. I know she's like this shit like this. He's not my son. He's really not my son. Help me, everyone. So
my mom is like Katharine Hepburn. You can never tie her down.
Look,
Well, I really admire your finger there. He
they
really,
came up to Michael Jackson like he was black. You know. Now that's not a joke because Michael Jackson has said repeatedly he's a black man. He's a black man, and they choose not to. They choose to ignore those statements on TV, right? So they choose to ignore those statements in magazines, right? So and his skin condition, Verilago or whatever that is.
Yeah.
Now, people saying that that's bullshit. And if he, he bleached his skin, yeah, because you won't die. Here's the thing. Do you think in this age of investigative reporting, the internet, the worldwide conspiracy theory, do you think that wasn't true? That he would be able to keep that secret? There's no the most famous entertainer in the world can keep a secret about a disease he has.
Yeah.
And another thing.
Plus, I grew up with a guy who used to actually babysit me who had that same skin condition later in life.
And Michael Jackson was, I don't know if it's because of treatment he had the best job or whatever, but a lot of people who are afflicted with that, it doesn't just go one color. It's spotted and he was very lucky. He had, but and another thing. Well, I want to subject Michael Jackson, and I'm not gonna keep going. That it's not like I'm a fan or anything. Although I do get a Michael Jackson glove over here given to me by the Jackson himself.
Hey, Michael. Speaking of fans, real quick, here's a clip I got from Neo when he was at your panel, right here. And share that with you real quick. Here is Neo, folks. This is another one of Michael's guests, the Black Panel. This is July 25th, 2014.
If I'm back next year, I will be here.
And he has a cartoon coming out.
Oh yeah, I got some stuff going on. I got a cartoon that I'm working on called What the Bear. Be looking out for that real soon. New album on the way. Be looking forward towards October. The music will not stop. Thank you so much to be a part of this. Allow me to be a part of this. Keep going. Keep going.
No, everybody's going. He's going. She's gonna ask a question. Get on that.
Okay, we don't have a lot of time and they're rushing, so I just wanted to say, Michael, to start talking.
Absolutely.
Okay, my name is Tangerine. I'm the celibate nympho. I have.
Oh, well, that's interesting.
Yeah. Thanks for ending on that.
I didn't. He can't make.
Hey, this is the Richard Sherman podcast brought to you by Supergrass Fantasy.
Taking a moment to really say goodbye to people. She said, "Hey, can I get in my celibate nympho thing?" She was actually, that woman was actually very talented. I'm glad you showed that clip because Neo and I became friends, and then I got sick.
Yeah.
And then,
And rightfully,
when I got sick, I alienated a whole lot of people because I didn't care about anything.
But you had a right to, though. I
didn't have a right to alienate people.
Well, my mom my mom wants to know the story if you could tell it. She didn't know.
My papa was a great old man. I can see him with a shovel in hand. Education he never had, but he knew when the time got bad. You don't realize he did some patches, the stone patches. No, I was born in a little shack outside of Wyoming. No, well, I was diagnosed in 2000 something with bipolar depression, and I didn't know I suffered from that for years. Of course, because you know why? Because we don't go to the hospital.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Oh, it's nothing but a bullet wound. I'll take care of it when I get home. You know, we don't do that. Black people don't do that, and we also don't talk about mental illness. You say mental illness. What do you get? You get the title of Richard Pryor's biggest album. That nigga's crazy, right? So, I just stopped dealing with anything which was remotely going to come and affect the one thing that you do when you get that depressed, which is sleep. Right. But I tried my best to keep the semblance of being able to focus.
Mm-hmm.
So, and people notice that. And without saying, you know, this is the reason this is happening is because I'm experiencing some issues now, right? Which you don't want to say, right? I mean, so I was in a place so bad that one day, and I also suffer from these migraines. I mean, really migraines. My migraines get so bad, I'm in a medical journal, right? And that is not a joke. So one day, I was doing this migraine kick for maybe 6 days. I say maybe because I think I started on a Sunday, and what I'm about to tell you happened on a Saturday, right? So I woke up and I just couldn't stand them. And here's the thing, I woke up from I don't know how long I was asleep because I'm an insomniac. So I woke up thanking God that I had been able to sleep, and then immediately realized that my migraine has gotten really, really bad. It was debilitating. It was, I literally was praying to die. It was that bad. And then,
my God.
Oh no, it was bad. So then I called my mom, right? And I got an answering machine. And it didn't occur to me that her answering thing still hooked up, but she had died 2 months before that. So now I'm just, I mean, it was really bad. I mean, depression, when I was a kid, my mother told me the worst thing that can happen to you is depression. And I didn't think anything of it because young kids think of shock. You know, if you go into shock, you can die. But it doesn't sound like it's that bad. Shock. All right, you know. Yeah, and depression doesn't sound like this, but it's bad. I mean, I just came out of a 6-year funk, right? You know, I mean, really. So I'm at this point where I'm in the worst pain imaginable. I can't sleep, right? And I'm thinking, this is how bad it was. I'm thinking if I tried to kill myself and take some sleeping pills, it wouldn't work. So I put a gun to my head, pulled the trigger.
What?
Oh yeah, it was there was no round in the chamber, and I was in so much pain that I tried to cock it, and you know, any movement was horrendous. I can't explain it. I'm trying to clock it, so I'm
taking back to that.
I'm holding on to it, and this is taking at the time in my house, my bedroom was here, and my office was here. It took me like an hour to crawl to my office to get my gun. Right. So and this is taking me trying to cock that thing back. It's taking me, I don't know how long it took me, right?
Mhm.
And the entire time I'm thinking about my mother. I'm thinking about just one particular story, which was back when we were, and this is what put me over the edge. You sure your listeners want to hear this?
Yeah, it's public. So yeah, it fills in.
Well,
It fills
I
in a
don't
lot. It helps. It fills in a lot. It's public because actually I read about it.
I know, but I don't want to take
and
him
so
back through that.
It's just your call, Michael. I mean,
no,
Well,
but-
I talked about my depression.
I really
I
like
talked about, there's a lot of kids out there that think that the world is going to end, especially gay kids.
Mhm.
Gay kids who haven't come out. That suicide rate is crazy. So
Yeah, sure is. Yeah.
what put me over the edge
now.
is there was one time with my mom, and we were in Gimbals. That's a store that no longer exists. Gimbals on Jamaica Avenue.
Mhm.
Back when I was like 9 years old. This white kid runs out of the store, and it's been snowing and it's icy. Runs out of the store while this bus, the Q113, is coming down Jamaica Avenue. My mother grabs her by the back of her hood and yanks her back right as that bus went. I mean, literally, right as that bus went past. She falls on the floor. She starts crying, but she's alive. Her dad comes out and puts.
I can't hear that.
Mhm.
Her dad comes out and punches my mother in the face. Drops her to the floor. On the ground, Christmas Eve, and it's snowing and people are walking past her, and he's calling her all sorts of names. And now it's freezing, and then she stays there until he leaves, right? And I'm crying like a maniac. And now we got to walk home
Mhm.
because there were other people standing there, and she felt threatened, and so we're walking home down New York Boulevard, although at that time it was called Guy Arbor Boulevard. No, at that time it was called New York Boulevard, but they changed it to Guy Arbor. So we're walking down there, and I'm screaming, I hate white people, I hate white people, I hate white people. And my mother says, don't, he said, that's just one man, and he's, he's trouble. I mean, she's convincing me, not to grow up like they do in gangster movies and shoot the motherfucker, and that's what threw me to the top. That's in the so, but at that moment, and I swear to you, I'm almost positive that I turned off the ringers on all my cell phones, because when you have that sound and light will kill you when you're this way. And I got a call from and I meant to hit this thing so it would be so you can deny the call, but I hit the wrong button.
Mhm.
And without telling her what I was doing, I just got on the phone. I said, look, I'm just gonna say goodbye. She knew somehow that goodbye meant whatever. And then she said she told me to stay here, as in stay on Earth.
Right.
And then it's going. I don't break promises, and she knew that. So she's like, promise me. And I'm like, fine, I promise. And somehow, she was in Melrose Avenue. She was like 20 minutes away from me, 25.
Mm-hmm.
She got in my house in like 10 minutes. So, yeah, I mean, I keep detailed. I don't know if you ever read any of my stuff, but
yeah, I do.
I keep detailed journals.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why when people try to accuse me of something, I just go into my journal and say, "Where day was that?"
Yeah.
And that's happened twice.
Michael, all this, to me, from my perspective, all this started because people were stealing your stuff. And I don't mean just people, I mean major entertainment companies.
You're talking about my depression?
I believe that they were the trigger.
No, I mean no. I've been suffering from this since I was 15 or something, but I didn't know what it was. Now you got to remember. I mean, I had plenty of reason to be depression. Plenty of reason to be depressed, but I was raised by my mother, my sister, my grandmother, and my cousin, Dee Dee. She was more like my best friend, girl. She was a little older than me, but she was just very, very. She was my favorite cousin at the time. And these all happened at different times, by the way, right? These are not the same. It's not the same event. Mother, sister, cousin, all murdered. Right. My cousin disappeared after my grandmother's. Not my mother. I'm sorry. Jesus Christ. Not my mother. My grandmother, my sister, my cousin were all murdered.
What?
Yeah, not at the same time. So, and my cousin Dee Dee disappeared after my grandmother's funeral and has never been seen again. And of course, she didn't make a milk carton or anything like this. She did, she was never on. She was never on a 2020, right? So those are. I mean, I got plenty of shit like that in my life. You know, which is why I have such a short temper with people when they impugn on my intelligence and such. Because I got 3 women who were dead, but because somehow I survived, and my mother. And the thing that pissed me off, man, is that this little know-it-all claiming I didn't have anything to do with static. When I wrote the Bible, the reason I wrote it that way, because the real star of static isn't static. I mean, the real star of static is static, but the real underlying purpose for static is the relationship with his sister. Right? Because his sister Sharon, named after my sister Sharon, and that's exactly the relationship I have with my sister. Right? Exactly the relationship I have with my sister. And his sister's name is Sharon, father's name is Robert, mother's name is Jean, but I didn't create it, even though that's all my shit. So that was sort of I don't think that was a trigger. I think no, that wasn't a trigger because I've been dealing since I came on the scene. I've been dealing with shit like that, right? But now, because the bigger I get in terms of my career, the more it becomes absolutely imperative that you keep your image clean. My image is not clean by any means, right? What that means is I'll call a spade a spade. I'm not anybody's boy, but but that's I'm considered a troublemaker because I ask questions about why, and I just it's thing that happened to me at DC when we was trying to do static. When we was doing Milestone, we had a retreat. Beautiful retreat. Good place off the I forget the name of it. Off the Hudson. Beautiful. I think it was a mansion, and they invited the Milestone people there. And there was a guy in this meeting who kept trying to have us have profanity in the books. Because these books had to be real. These books have to be real. Now, I'm not thinking about whether or not these books had to be real. I'm from the environment he was trying to encapsulate these books. But I also went to an Ivy League school. I also have a cousin who's a phenomenon. I also have a pedigree. Yes, there's been violence. There's been pain. There's been, bigotry in my life, right? But I turned out all right. And this guy was so adamant about having the F word in these books. Now, during the time of Sister Soldier, during the time of Tip O'Neill, not Tip O'Neill, Tip O'Neill also, but Al Gore's wife.
Right. Tipper Gore.
Tipper Gore, yeah.
Tipper Gore, yeah.
Yeah, but Tipper Gore, that's where I got the tip from. Just the tip. During the time, this is that time. Ice-T's Cop Killer.
Yeah.
And we're about to put the word "fuck you" in books which most people at the time still considered funny books, and we're a black company. So I'm like, but I'm not, and he doesn't care. And this is the marketing guy. So I said, what's acceptable, right? I made a movie about this too. This is when shit turned ugly for me at DC. I said, what's acceptable? I said, is shit acceptable? Yeah, I suppose we gotta have shit in there.
All right, folks, he means DC Comics.
Yeah, DC Comics.
Superman, Wonder Woman.
Anywhere which this happened 20-somewhat years ago. This is not reflective of the new DC Comics now is run by black people. The two biggest, whoa, I don't know. Because one of the two biggest people with DC just left, so I don't know who they replaced it with. No, they're run by people of color, because I think they replaced him.
Was it Jeff Johns who replaced?
No, Jeff Johns wasn't it. No, it was there's Daryl, I forget his last name. Daryl. Anyway, he general manager. He was basically he was a step away from the president, right? The publisher, president, whatever. And Jim Lee, all people of color run DC now. Jim Lee runs all the comic book shit. Whoever just came in to replace Daryl, I can't remember his last name, but I just want to make sure that people understand this is not reflective on DC at all. This is back in the day. And I completely forgot what I was talking about. Oh, no. So I'm trying to convince this guy, right? Now, this is the same guy who once I walked into his office and he had a picture of a Porsche on the wall. I said, that's a nice car. And it was his car. Who keeps a picture of their car? But I was like, yeah, that's nice. And he says, well, maybe one day you can have a car just like that. Now, he was driving a 944.
Ooh, a Porsche 944.
Yeah, 944 is an entry-level Porsche, my friend. It's got a Volkswagen engine in that bitch. I was driving a 928.
Oh.
Only for like a day, because then that shit was. I'm gonna mention that shit to people because that was a bad for a day. Because and then it went away. That's all I'm gonna say. It still makes it crazy, right? But
you got out of that, and then you went 2016, 17. I ran into you, I think, in 2015 at WonderCon when we did our video. Yeah, and that was great. I'm not gonna play it, but that was by your request. But
remember,
I loved it.
I chipped the bone in my hand, and I was in a lot of pain when I did that. So I was on a lot of painkillers. Remember that big cast I had on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what?
I was rambling because I'm on these painkillers. Right?
No, but you know what though? You were virtuoso because you had people walking by you, and you were holding court with them, talking with them. I didn't know you were in pain. That's interesting.
That's because most black inconsiderate men don't appreciate when people are going, I'm in pain.
That's true. Hey, now we have Oscar for that, right? If you have a doctor that doesn't take you seriously, right, you can go to Oscar and get one that caters to you, right?
That's the problem. The whole problem I'm having. The reason I was in such bad shape in terms of my illness is because I just thought I was having a moment. I couldn't explain every year around my sister's death, I used to start crying just out of the blue. And I'm thinking, I don't know, maybe there's some kryptonite or something around here. But I'm going to move on from this because I'm not a big fan of it. But one more thing. I keep journals. I'm rereading my journals.
How was Comic-Con last year?
Let me just finish this point because I sound like I'm forever.
Absolutely.
I keep journals, really explicit journals, and I'm rereading my journals, and I realized that I didn't do any bad things. I didn't try to embezzle anything. I didn't try to steal anything. I didn't. But the way I talk to certain people, the things that I said, the things that I did, were just not something that I would do. Now I'm not blaming my illness on anything. I'm blaming, but that's the reason, that's the cause, but not the reason. it affected me, but I knew enough at the time to not say these things. In other words, you know that you're not going to, you know that what you're saying or doing is wrong, but you don't care. You just don't care.
But
So
you know what, though? Can I offer something? Just maybe helps from a guy who would walk through Comic-Con and hear about your panels. I never once heard anybody say anything negative about you or the panel. You were one of the top buzz makers there. And
there's an article online now which says I'm mentally incompetent.
what?
Yeah, but they got a letter from my lawyer that says that I'm hooked, that they need to lawyer up.
You're a genius.
You know what's funny about that? My mother told me I was a genius when I was like 12 years old.
So I'm in good company.
And it turns out that my shrink gave me an IQ test like 3 years ago, and I am a genius. But you know what they say? But genius has nothing to do with how smart you are; it's how you reason, right?
Right.
Which is why they give me these ridiculous tests, whatever. But when they say there's a fine line between genius and insanity, that's the thing. The biggest gift I got from being anywhere near, and the biggest gift I've ever gotten is that I can see things. I know when things are going to happen. When something's happening, I can tell that it's an important moment in my life. Like when I went to high school of art design, I knew right then and there that was going to be one of, if not the best memories of my existence, and it still is. Here I am, almost 25 years old.
But having said that, don't you think a place like Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con in particular, is perfect for people who are just that, who are geniuses, who are creative, who are expressive, who share? I mean, it's the cutting edge of culture, and you know, I'm consistently
Comic-Con is the perfect place to go for a few things. If you're a fan of the medium, if you want to be around good people,
yes.
Like in the entire, Comic-Con's been around for what, 50-something years?
Yeah.
And the entire time, and I've been to all 50. I started when I was minus 10. I've only heard of one fight, and supposedly that fight was when this guy accidentally hit this guy in the eye.
I was there.
Huh? So what happened?
Oh yeah, I was there. I was there. In fact, what happened was there was this guy.
Yo, man, come on,
there were two roommates.
Dude, your mother sit right there. Tell it the right way. What had happened was.
What happened was there were two young men in Hall H, and they were trying to stand up, and they were roommates, and they were trying to stand, and one had actually gotten the other's way, and he hit him with turned out to be an X-Acto knife or something, and they called it a nerd. And when what happened, the guy actually, I have a video where the guy actually walked right by. It's on Zenny 62. I was talking with my friend Karen on video, and he's being walked by. He's being perp walked right by us. This is on camera.
Wasn't an accident?
No, it wasn't an accident.
He tried to stab
They actually got into a fight. They called it a nerd fight. I think it was which publication?
Didn't he get cut in the eye or something?
Close to it, but you know, it was like it turned out to be okay. There was like a brief bruise, basically. The detainment was temporary. It was all fine. I actually talked to Dave Glanzer about it afterward.
That's cool. Dave's a cool motherfucker. I like Dave.
Dave is cool. Yeah, Dave Glanzer is I always call him the czar of Comic-Con. That's what I call him.
That would be Faye. I would say Dave is the overlord.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because Faye is one of the nicest, but one of the nicest, don't take no shit people, because she just handles stuff in such a way, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So dude, let's talk about some of the great things I've done in life. So people don't think that I'm just this depressed.
Not in the least. You are
man. You know, I'm very. Oh, but the thing that you're talking about in terms of people stealing my shit, it's not that they're stealing my stuff. It's that they're stealing my legacy.
Yeah.
You know, because when my mother died, at her funeral, I met, I haven't seen a bunch of people for 20 years, and now their kids have got kids, and their kids are like, oh, he created Static Shock. They're like, no, he didn't, because that's the sort of stuff that they should have grown up knowing that. I mean, and if you go online, there was a guy, and I can't forget this. I will never. My biggest problem is I forgive people, but this was a hard one. Guy that used to work at Milestone.
Thing. That's actually a Christian thing. That's okay. That's a Christian thing.
Well, I have to, because if I don't ever want to be in a bad place and start thinking about things that happened to me, people that did things to me. That would be bad.
Right.
So this guy goes on Facebook and says, despite what Michael says, he had little to nothing to do with Static. And he worked at Milestone. He was an intern, but he still worked there. Imagine Hillary Clinton going.
This one?
Oh, I thought I was cut off. Imagine Hillary Clinton going, not Barack Obama. No, she didn't say that. Imagine somebody who's really prominent, who worked for the White House, saying that something bad about whatever that happens all the time. So that's the sort of shit I'm fighting. So what I did was I put a 10,000. I said, if anybody can prove that I didn't write this, that I didn't come up with this, the Creative Bible. Not I didn't come up with Static by myself, but I wrote the Creative Bible, and I came up with his universe. How he acts, the characters in it, right? But I didn't come up with the idea of Static. That was a group thing. But everything else about Static, his family, his friends, his interactions, that's all me. So, and I've got tired of it. So I put this thing up. $10,000 to the first person that can tell me, that can prove I didn't write it. Either that or shut the fuck up. Right? $10,000. You don't have to pay me nothing. You have to pay me a thing. Right? And all of a sudden, now the thing to do in that instance is apologize.
Yep.
Right? I was wrong, whatever. But man, there's this guy named
Hey, is Black Lightning Static Shock? Did they steal that and then convert it?
Static Shock. Black Lightning came out 30 years before Static.
Okay. There's somebody who was trying to make the connection and saying that they tried to mix the two. I don't know. That's why I was asking.
Well, the state of troll land these days is that you can say Static, Black Lightning ripping off Static. I'm sorry, Black Lightning is ripping off Static. Well, Black Lightning was created 30 years ago, and then you'll get, right. You get it's the Republicans. This was a day in the park. Instead of cops getting killed, people getting their eyes put out. Now they say it was a political discourse, a regular political discourse. You wouldn't want that political discourse at your goddamn daughter's wedding, right? So, but that's my one big problem with the black comic book industry. A rumor becomes fact way too easily.
Too fast, yeah.
Well, when a book came out, a post came out from an artist who said that Milestone, damn it, I can't get this right. Milestone stole their business plan from them.
And Milestone was, you ran Milestone, right?
No. I didn't run it. I was a partner there.
Partner.
But wait. Why don't I just turn all this stuff around? Why don't I just start saying shit that's not true? Yeah, you know what? Yeah, man, I came up with it. I did it. I saw these other guys on the street. They were panhandling. I said, you guys want a job? And that's what it was. So your mama understand this. So this thing goes online. People and some big black creators co-signed. They co-signed that Milestone stole their business plan. They co-signed. Right? Now my thing is, you don't let shit like that lay, because then it becomes the gerbil. Right? And Milestone still has a policy of not commenting on stuff like that. Hey,
Even though they can set the record straight, they'd rather just let it lay.
because they figure it'll just go away.
It's the internet.
If they would have dealt with Mrs. McDuffie beforehand, they would have. And I said, and I'm not saying anything. I'm not looking to piss anybody off. But I've said, you need to. When, at the time I was still there, we need to deal with this because people think Dwayne created Milestone. He didn't.
Who's Mrs. McDuffie?
Dwayne McDuffie's widow.
Okay.
But the thing is, and I've been saying this before Dwayne died, and especially after he died. First of all, there was nobody more milestone than Dwayne, right? You could put all the partners together, and we still wouldn't be as milestone as Dwayne. The truth is, Dwayne didn't come up with a milestone; Dennis Cowan did, right? But there are all these people who think that Dwayne created it, which, to be honest, these things. Dennis Cowan is just one of those guys that just doesn't pay attention to stupidity. Except that when there's a brand as big as Milestone, you can't. Here's my argument. And I hate to be clairvoyant. I said, if anything happens to Dwayne, right? And we want to get Milestone back together, and the guy that created it isn't there. It's kind of like Michael Jackson. It's like trying to sell out the Coliseum, the Jacksons, without Michael Jackson.
Hey, so I have a question. So you didn't have, like, for example, Zenith 16 is a C Corp structure. I own 68% of it, and the stock is equivalent to what I put in to start the company. Sports Business Simulations was the same thing. We have an attorney that comes along. You guys didn't have anything like that, so that you know.
Yeah, we did. Absolutely, we did.
Okay.
Right. It was. We did now, but you don't ignore the icon's widow.
Right.
You don't know what it. And it's not a bad thing. It's not a stupid thing. It's a thing. It's the way a lot of people in Hollywood do. They just ignore it; it'll go away. But so this thing got bigger and bigger and bigger on the net. So I just wrote this article, which is like, first of all, we were on the stands a full year before they even presented a business plan. So it was impossible for us to do it. Oh yeah.
Wait, you put the product out before the business plan.
The argument was that Derek Dingle used to work at Black Enterprise, and they sent their business plan to Black Enterprise, and Derek gave it to Dennis and quit Milestone. I mean, quit Black Enterprise, and we all came up with this business. We all ripped them off, right? Now, what he did, because it looked like that could have happened, except that he got the dates wrong. So if I'm him, I'm thinking, oh, motherfucker, he got the dates wrong. So when I wrote this article, I was like, yo, this couldn't have happened because we were on the stands a full year before this business plan hit Black Enterprise. So no way it could have happened, right? He was wrong. He wasn't lying, he was wrong, and there's a difference, right? But if in fact it would have been me who made that mistake with somebody, when they proved that it wasn't correct, they wouldn't have done. I'm like, I know he was mistaken. He wasn't wrong. I mean, he was wrong, but he wasn't lying. And that's a big difference, right? And he wasn't, because it looked like, if you look at it on face value, that's what happened. But I do stuff like that because it's like, there's a guy that was on the Black panel who called me a house nigga, and I knew he called me a house nigga because I read it. And then I put him on the panel a couple of years later because he was now a big star and Black kids need to see this guy. Right? You know, and I don't. And by the way, did anybody apologize after it was proven? I mean, any of the industry? One fan, one industry guy. That's it. But
That's it.
Yeah. So
they ought to make a special website saying that. Maybe I will. Well, you know, that's an idea. I think I'll do it. I'll do it.
What the urban mist? Like what's real? That's a good idea. That is a good idea. You know, because it's like what do you call it? What's that site you go? You want to check out a rumor?
I have a section in Oakland News Now, right?
Hey man, I did your Oakland News stuff, man. You're a hard hitting journalist. Right?
Oh,
but you can also be
I'm not a journalist.
No, seriously, man. I had a relationship with Oakland when I launched Magic Media, which was a part of Magic Johnson Animation, where I used to run. We did it in Oakland because one of the things we wanted to do is we wanted to tackle the whole Ebonics thing, right?
Yeah, that was when I was working for Oakland Mayor Lily Harris. I remember exactly where I was when Ebonics was floated, and I'll tell you where I was. It was the morning of 6:30 a.m. on the 14th of September.
The day I always remember.
Yeah, of 1996, because Elihu called me into his office that morning. Elihu Harris is the mayor of Oakland. I was economic advisor, and I sat down at the chair, and he tossed this report, which is on Ebonics, is by Tony Cook, who is basically the creator of Ebonics. And he asked me for my opinion, and I told him I thought it was ridiculous because I speak English. I'm an American citizen. English is my language. I don't need a crutch.
A sub-language.
Right, a sub-language, a crutch. I thought it was
as less than, yeah.
Right, that's what I said. I said I thought it was an intellectual cop-out. I said, why should I do that? It's like I'm saying America is not my country when I'm as much an American patriot as any other American patriot.
It's not more considering we built the White House.
Exactly. Thank you. So I resented it. Of course, you know, I wasn't exactly loved by Tony Cook. She actually had my car towed. That created Ebonics had my car towed because she was jealous that the mayor of Oakland gave me a prime parking spot. So Elihu made her pay my fine. That's a fact.
Yeah, man.
That's a fact. Isn't that a jerk move, though?
Yo, man.
Isn't that a jerk move?
Man, what?
I'm not black. It's like her saying I'm not black enough. Heck with her, you know.
What jerk man isn't a victim of a jerk move? You know? Oh, you got to not black enough. Look, I've given this keynote speech at the FBI Academy. There's just many people on the planet. I don't know how many, but there's not a lot of people on the planet who's given that speech. Who doesn't work for the law enforcement or the government. That's a pretty big damn deal. Yeah. Right? But I get that's something that you should say a black man did this as opposed to he think he white. But then when I come out my face and that tells somebody you need to step the fuck off, then I'm a thug. Right? You know. These are some of the rumors, which is why I'm not involved in Milestone, is because they couldn't vet me. My resume, shit. I was look, all these places you go online where you can check out somebody's background. That's all. First of all, it's bullshit, right? Because according to my online profile from one of these sites, I'm living with a woman. I'm 68, 69. I'm 95 years old. And I'm living with a woman. And there right next to it is my address.
What?
I am not that guy. So, but I mean, I don't.
Hey, I gotta ask you, how did Comic-Con change in the picture for comics after? Because to me, there are a number of milestones. There's
number of milestones. That's funny.
Yeah, no pun intended.
Ain't nothing funny about milestone. That was a crowning achievement in the industry.
Yeah. But Black Panther was one, and then also the George Floyd murder was another.
Change? You mean the black panel change?
Right. I'm asking you, among all these milestones for you, which one was the most significant? Was it
Trayvon Martin?
Trayvon Martin.
Yeah, the Trayvon Martin decision. I mean, because I think Trayvon Martin was the first event where it's usually about empowerment and getting people out there and having a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But I think the Trayvon Martin verdict, I mean, I came out and I was just like, we need to keep our eyes on the prize and create stuff, because it affected me. And because, dude, I mean, the amount of stuff that we go through as Black people is crazy, right?
Mm-hmm. Hey, you were saying, if I may, you were saying it was Trayvon Martin, but I'll tell you, for me, it was Oscar Grant, because I lived in Oakland.
Oh,
and
how they killed him in the van?
Yeah, and I went, and not only that, the night that it happened, actually the night just after it happened, rather, I wound up covering the riot. Just about a day plus later, I was taking Emily back from her place to her place, and I went back and I saw to my place. I saw the helicopter, and after you live in Oakland, after a while, you see a helicopter headed toward downtown. You figure something's going down. So I got in the car, and I headed right down to downtown Oakland, and parked and just started vlogging things. I had a flip video camera and started vlogging, and that was for me the first. And then it just seemed like things got worse after that.
That goes to my point about the state of Black comics now. Mm-hmm. Man, there's some stuff happening which is phenomenal, which can have a major impact on the country. I mean, we could start telling the story. We can have a much broader exposure to everything. I mean, mm-hmm. And it is my dream to have that happen, and one of the reasons Wayne Brady and I started the company Level Next, because it's a part of what we're doing is within Level Next is we're creating a structure where we can, as part of the nonprofit, put people of color in areas which we are usually not represented in, as well as building content and creating and building worlds, right? There's a friend of mine, a very good friend of mine. His name is Don Johnson, not the actor, who is a very big muck in the horse racing industry. There's like 0 people in that industry. And the first jockeys used to be Black. The first winner of the Kentucky Derby was Black. But this is when jockeys were expendable, because the masters would have their slaves run, because if a slave falls off a horse, get another slave. But like we do in all things, we excelled. So that's, I mean, look at all this Black cowboy shit that's happening now.
Yeah, and cowgirls, Black cowgirls too.
Man, it's the Black world,
mm-hmm.
Right? So
so it's fair to say things are getting better though overall, because here's my thought, and I want your reaction to this. If we had social media, let me ask it in a formal question: what would the 60s be like if we had social media in the 60s?
If I answer honestly, we would not have social media in the 60s, because the powers that be would make sure that whatever we were doing wasn't legal. Right? I can't imagine them letting you Newton on any kind of social media platform, right? Mm-hmm. Now I tell you, what would happen if we had the Underground Railroad in the 60s?
Mm-hmm.
where you were getting out information to the masses before they could do anything about it, and you were freeing up that information. That's a good idea. Let me write that down. TM trademark. I take that. Hey, you're out there listening to this. I get Jewish lawyers. Don't mess with me. That's a good idea.
But if we had social media in the 60s, given its nature, would, for example, John F. Kennedy's girlfriends be more of a headline? Will we have killed media faster?
Oh, you're talking about that kind of social media.
Yes.
You're talking about the impact of social media on how stupid people can be.
Exactly.
Oh, that's it's like we had this conversation earlier, man. You're giving me the question before you're giving me the answer before you give me the question. Oh, in that case, Martin Luther King would have been done. That would have been it. Martin Luther King. Oh, because they would have had pictures of his alleged affairs or whatever like that. John F. Kennedy. Let's reverse it. Let's say that Trump, it was social media in the 60s, and Trump was still Trump. The minute that Access Hollywood tape came out, his career is over. Right? Yep. Because we this country was not that kind of country back then.
No.
This country was like, hey, yo, no. I know you married Ricky and Lucy, but you gotta have separate beds. All right? You weren't there with that. You know? So
right.
But
would that have made Hugh Hefner even bigger though? Because Hugh Hefner didn't care.
Well, Hef, who I knew.
Wait, stop the press. You knew Hugh Hefner. Say that 3 times real fast.
I ran film and television for Motown Records, the most famous record company on the planet. Motherfuckers used to come to my party. The people that come to my parties now, when I was running Motown, right? So now when I say new, I mean I wasn't hanging out. Well, actually I did hang out once at a nightclub, right? And Hef, I mean, Hef would have gotten away with it because, first of all, sex is the biggest thing since, I don't know, I'm celibate.
I'm putting this out on Twitter about this.
When I broke up with Beyonce, man, it's like
I gotta put this on. This is epic,
but
man.
Again,
the notification has to go out.
A notification for what? I'm sorry, I missed that.
That you're talking about, that Michael Hugh Hefner.
Oh, Hef.
I'm just making a note of that on Twitter.
Dude.
Yeah. What was he like?
He still would have been successful because he's a white guy. And you know, Hef, the thing that people don't know about Hef, he was a staunch civil rights supporter. Just like Frank Miller. Just like Frank Sinatra. So Michael, how was it that you came upon the Gordon Parks thing? You know what's funny about that?
What?
When I graduated from Pratt Institute, the keynote speaker was Gordon Parks, right? And Gordon Parks was a huge. I mean, I was like, when I found out he was the keynote speaker, I tried my best to get in the front row. Didn't happen. Right? Found him afterwards, shook his hand, right? And then 14 years later, the Gordon Parks Academy in East Orange, New Jersey is naming their auditorium after me. So that's kind of cool.
What do you remember about Gordon Parks?
What I knew about him is that when they dedicated the Gordon Parks Academy, when he came for the ceremony, I told a Gordon Parks story, which is kind of true, right? But because Mr. Parks, Gordon Parks is like Miles Davis and Miles Davis, Gordon Parks, in that kind of genre where he's bigger than life, and if you're going to talk to him, you need to come correct because it's Gordon Parks. So when this happened, but not the way that I told it. I went up to Gordon Parks after graduation, right? And I said, Mr. Parks, do you have any advice for a young Black man going out into the world to show his artwork? I wanted to. I know exactly what I said, but I can't get my journals right now. But it was along those lines, right? And I said, do you have any advice? And he looked at me and he says, go away. I'm like, go away? Travel? He said, no. Just go away. And realized he was talking about traveling, to see the world and make sure that you understand people's culture. But for the sake of this keynote I'm giving in my auditorium at his school, it was go away.
Gordon Parks.
Gordon Parks, man. A lot of people, which is kind of shameful, until what is that show? The Peel show, Lovecraft Country.
Yes. Until
Lovecraft Country, people find out I have an auditorium with my name on it. The Gordon Parks Academy. Who's Gordon Parks? Now they know who. Now they know who it is.
Yeah,
old school knows, but these new whippersnappers,
Yeah, I don't know if you know Jessica Dwyer, but she's a contributor here, and she actually interviewed the writer for Lovecraft Country. So,
that show's ridiculous. That's the kind of show that makes me. I used to have this thing called the hate list, where all the people I really respect, I just put them right on that list. That's because we know how we really feel. Hate that. That was very. I should start that again. That was very popular. The hate list. Yeah.
I like. Hey, does that mean you're gonna have the hate panel?
If you make no, you know
Black
what?
Panel like Comic
There
Con.
was a day when you could do that. You can't do it now because of the political climate out there. You can't call something a hate panel, but people think that neo-Nazis to come. Yo, man, you really need to stay away from panels. Here's the hate panel created by Zany.
But you know what? The hate panel might not be a love panel. If you get everybody in the room that hates something or hate each other, they might turn out liking each other. You never know. That'd be an interesting little mix.
Who do you hate and why do you hate them? That may actually work. Who do you hate and why do you hate them? Right. I don't hate people. I wish, you know what? Honestly, I wish I could hate people, but I can't. I want to, but the teachings of my mother are much too strong. Always put yourself in their shoes. Shit, there's got to be a reason.
Hey, so
tell me if I'm being.
How was your panel?
Let me ask you and your listeners.
No, you're not.
No,
say again.
I want to ask you. Maybe you can put this out to your people and tell me if I'm being ridiculous. It's a woman,
right.
A woman a couple of years ago who I put on a black panel, who was as gracious and as thankful as possible, writing articles about me, sending me really nice emails, and just totally thanking me for giving her that opportunity. 10 years after she did that, for whatever reason, she goes online and she says, and I'm not exaggerating what way or the other, and she says that she was a gay activist, which is why she was on the panel, right? I don't want to talk about her name or whatnot because I'll tell you why. Not because I'm afraid of her, because like I said, Rose and Gray. But the reason she was on the panel because she was a gay activist.
Yeah, sure.
Right. And she said that she claims that I came up to her right before the panel and said, "Don't say no gay shit." Were you at the panel when I came out and I told everybody to get up? I came up and said, "Get up!" Everybody got up, right? That was the panel. She was on that panel, right? And she claims that right before the panel I came up to, I came in from an entirely different exit. I came up, everybody was already on the panel when I got to the panel. I came in from an entirely different entrance, right? Got up there, told everybody to get up, right? And had no interaction with the panel before that. And it was on tape. So that's completely bullshit. But
it doesn't. Well. Let me. Hold on a second. Let's just play a little logic game here, okay? First of all, you introduced her as a gay activist, right?
No, she introduced herself.
Right. So
you
isn't
know how I do it? I don't introduce people. They introduce themselves.
But my point is, if you were not supposed to talk about gay crap or have her talk about gay crap, then logically shouldn't even mention that she's gay.
She should have been on the panel.
But well, yeah, that's my point. Let alone that. So the simple fact that she was there and then introduced herself as a gay activist meant that she herself was wrong. She just implicated herself as lying.
It doesn't matter in this world. It doesn't matter.
It matters. Nobody was logical, right? I mean, okay, what did you do? It's like, wait, excuse me. I love this, Mike.
Zany,
excuse me.
What are you about not taking the vaccine and not dying? Go on. I want to hear your point, but this is not.
Yeah, I'm only saying that. I would ask her. I would say, excuse me. So you were on the panel and you introduced yourself as a gay activist, right? And she would have to say, yeah. Well,
I'll give you her information.
My point is, nobody stopped you from talking, right? So automatically you just lied.
But here's the thing. My point, and you're absolutely right about all this stuff. My point is this. She says it, right? And I'm thinking she must know people I know because I was in a really bad state and I was sleeping. And I don't go online, I don't do anything. I was offline once for like 8 months, right? And so it's a pretty good chance that I will not see what it is you're putting up there. And I didn't because I was in this state. But the people who were vetting me for this huge gig, running this huge media play, the people who were vetting me, and I had already done with the vet, called me up and asked me to respond to this. And I said, I'm not responding to this bullshit. Hung the fuck up. They went that deal. Because they kept calling back.
Let me offer something as a.
Mm-hmm. So here's the thing. They kept calling back.
This is sinister on her part in another way.
Say it again. Say it again.
I was just going to say, this is sinister.
He asked you if you could call him back.
No. I said on her part, this is sinister, but I'm wondering if, you know how you're the king of playful banter. 50% of the stuff you say, you don't mean, right?
Oh, I mean it. I just don't. I just mean it in a different way. But go ahead. But what playful banter? I don't have any playful banter with this woman. And just remember, this is 10 years later.
Right. But I'm saying, is it possible that after 10 years, whatever's going on in her head, whatever kidding around you may have had, she decided to spin it around seriously because maybe she's in a bad place in her life? And I mean, I don't know this person, but I'm just saying.
Listen, when you say, when you say something like this, and then she said she wants to know if any other black woman has had a problem with me, and she puts it out there, right? Oh wait, there's more. Then she said she needed to be escorted out of Comic-Con because she felt threatened.
Say what? She needed to be what?
Escorted out of Comic-Con because she felt threatened.
Oh, get out! Anybody who says they feel threatened at Comic-Con,
I got copies of every single thing she said.
That's a lie.
That I got copies of what she said.
What she said was a lie.
Well, let's make sure that your audience knows that, because people will cut this up. I got copies of everything she said. That's a lie.
No. Don't cut this up. That lady is lying. I assert that she's lying. Period.
Yes, of course she's lying, and I got ample proof that she's lying. And it cost me a lot. It cost me something that I've saved after 2 years, but it was I was in such bad shape, I didn't care. Then when I started feeling better, I realized it's not just me that she fucked over. It's all the people I was going to hire.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I got upset about, man. Now, here's another thing. Let me just add you, just to make you crazy. She claims to be, and I believe her on this, because she mentioned it to me before she decided I wasn't a good person. She claims that she has one of those idyllic memories where you can't forget anything.
Yeah, right.
Wait, but here's the thing. If she can't forget anything and she's an activist, it took her 10 years to remember that I did that shit. But wait, I get copies. She did this long article about how great I was. She did all this shit. So here's the thing. Now,
oh man,
Zane, no, seriously, here's the thing. Let's speak about this logically. You spend enough time dealing with people in Washington to know this. What would make somebody do something like that?
jealousy.
No, somebody.
Well, that too, but I mean, my point is that there's some people. I'm going to steal a line from The Dark Knight. Remember, Michael said there's some people who just like to watch the world burn. Some men just like to watch the world burn.
Why'd you have to say that, man? You know that was from my autobiography. That wasn't from The Dark Knight.
But I think there's some people who are like that. They just like to, start shit.
Dude.
Some people are just shit starters like that because they got nothing else. They got nothing better going on in their lives, and they just want to start shit because they can. And not only that, I think something else that needs to be marked is as much as we talk about white racism against black folks, we do a lot of harm to ourselves.
Oh hell yeah! Oh hell yeah!
Far more often.
Oh
that
hell yeah!
comes under the color, to me, of black self-hatred.
I can't censor myself for some reason. Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Okay. What the hell are you looking at? Talk about he wants to get paid. But here's the thing, right? Let's just follow this to its logical conclusion. Her story is not flawed. It's embarrassingly flawed. Right?
Yeah.
If asked why she did that, or you go to court. Now, statute of limitation. There's no statute of limitation on Twitter about that shit being on Twitter, right? And not to mention, you don't have to go to court these days to ruin somebody. You can just have a big enough audience. And when I died, I had a big ass audience, and people don't even know what I do. So, I mean, I'm not a conspiracy. I have one conspiracy theory. It's my own conspiracy thing is that I think that there's a concerted effort to keep Black and Latino and Jewish people out of the same voting block because those three groups can turn in the election, just being combined. And it used to be like that in the '60s. But I think there's a concerted effort to keep Black, Jewish, and Latino people absolutely separate.
Remember Jesse Jackson ran for president, and I thought he had a great Black, Jewish, Latino coalition, and then the media had to get a hold of him making an inappropriate statement.
Of course. I mean, I'm making these statements all the time, but
not to that extent.
But here's the thing I want to ask you and your audience. The Black woman, my mother meant everything to me, and unlike people in the movies, I actually honor what it is. I took a trip to Alaska that she and I were supposed to do together. She told me to go anyhow, knowing that she would die soon. And this was in the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
Told me to go anyhow, and I took that trip because she said go to Alaska. We were supposed to do it together, and I went anyhow because that's what she asked me. But so I'm thinking about my mother doing this thing, and then I'm starting to think, what possible reason? What's going on in her? Not my mother. I'm not thinking this about my mother. I'm thinking just about the person who wrote that thing. What's going on in her life that she would do something like this? What is possibly happening with her life that she would do something like this? Right? And I honestly am, and that's the sort of empathetic human being I am. Because clearly she's either getting paid or she's at a point where there's something else going on. I don't know what it is, but
You know what? Your guy.
Realize how big this is. Let me get this point out.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Not only is that a crime, it's not just slander, right? It's not just slander. It's
definitely.
She's asking other Black women to come to ask to make sure, asking other Black women to come and give their stories about me, right? That's a conspiracy. And I know she was planning a magazine article because I know everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked somebody, and they told me she was planning a magazine article. She was planning a Me Too Me, right? And I know this for a fact, right? And somebody, I don't know, so I'm thinking maybe she's in she's in duress or something like that, right? But I let it go. So am I being foolish for letting it go, or should I take it to its logical conclusion, which is to make her own up to that shit?
My personal opinion is there are some things that you let go because that person is about this big and you have a gigantic shadow. Okay. I think the best thing to do is to put it down in writing once and leave it alone, because the more you talk about that person, the more life you give to that person that they don't deserve.
Yeah.
There are people who like to watch creatives burn. And what I mean by that is if you're out there, you're in print, you're getting attention, they get jealous. And I'll be 60 this year. And
I wouldn't have said you were anything older than, I don't know, 78, 79.
Thanks. So anyway, thank you.
I'm doing I'm just waiting.
Checks in the mail. Thanks a lot, man.
Dude, I'm just listen to you saying this stuff so I can hear your mom laugh. That's my gauge. So, but here's the thing. Like you were talking about the milestone thing. If you let it sit.
Yeah, but the point that I was making is what I was going to say was that prior to reaching this point in my life, you would just explain away certain things as if to say, well, okay, I'm not seeing it the proper way, so I'll just not think about it. But now I believe I am seeing it the proper way. And there are some people, particularly in this emergence of the depression we go, I think some people get depressed, and their way of acting out their depression in some cases when their life isn't doing well is to find somebody else to flame that they think has a bigger platform.
Okay.
And, it's not a good way. All right. But it's not a good way, but there are people who I believe do that and specialize in doing that.
All right, let me throw this at you. All right. I'm on record for a few years about my mental illness, right?
Mm-hmm.
And people know that shit. So something like what she did, it could be considered a weapon.
Oh yeah,
because that so I'm not look. I've got the goods on a guy who's a high-ranking executive in media. I mean, and it's horrible what this motherfucker did. Horrible.
Mm-hmm.
And he talks shit about, and he gets horrible. And I could TMZ this bitch. I mean, literally what he did was a crime, and I could literally ruin his statute of limitations gone, but his reputation would be done.
But here's the thing, though, Mike. I want to caution you and other people watching about where we are today.
But I wouldn't. but I'm telling you why I didn't do it.
Mhm.
I didn't do it because A, think about my mother, I'm not that kind of person, and B, he's done a lot for the genre. He's done a lot for the business. I won't mention which business it's in, right? And I'm not a big fan of destroying people's to mirror him in business would be
Sure.
a good thing,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I let it go, but I have a rule, if it comes back at me, letting him go. I have no problem dropping a dime.
Well, here's the thing, though, and it's one thing to keep in mind for everybody online. You are what is called, not just you or me, but internet trolls are called limited purpose public figures.
I like that. I
And
like
what-
that a lot.
And what that means
Hold on, I need to write that down and give you no credit for it.
and what that means, oh sure, but what that means, this is a legal term.
Oh, in that case, fuck it.
And what it means basically is that there's a higher bar for anybody to prove malice, deliberate malice against somebody else online.
Well, there's malice and there's slander. They're two different things.
Right, but here's my point though, is that in this environment, it's harder to prove because everybody is a celebrity in some kind of way. And here's the
Well, you're talking about for legal reasons.
right.
Oh, you're talking about because I said about the conspiracy. I get it. Yeah. Okay.
Well, I'm saying, conspiracy or no, the internet makes us all celebrities and therefore more susceptible to a criticism that somebody else that you or I might think is attackable in court, right?
Dude,
But the bar to prove malice is higher. That's what I'm saying. So and here's the reason why I stress is because I tell everybody, make sure you have your own blog, make sure that it's search engine readable, make sure you have more than one, make sure you have a YouTube channel, make sure you have multiple channels to get your word out against somebody else's, because that's your first best line of defense.
well, that's so. First of all, I told you who my attorneys were. They, and one of my attorneys is a family member, and she wants this woman gone. She said that this is so easy for her to and she wondering why I'm not doing anything. But first of all, I would really like to know if there's somebody behind it, and second of all, what would make somebody do this? And those are the thing. I'm empathetic to stuff like this. To your point.
Well, some people right, but some people wait for you to respond because there's a school of thought that if you respond, it must be true.
Yeah.
So my point is, again, from an algorithmic standpoint, from a search engine standpoint, your job first is to make sure that your story is told in such a way that if somebody writes something else, okay, a common searcher can say, oh, wait a minute, that's not true because he said this. And immediately that gaslights what
I'm
like that.
way ahead of you. The thing with me is that when people talk shit about me, I don't respond with just your mama's a pig. I respond with what I did with the business plan thing. Proof. Right? And there's no bigger proof than a videotape.
Well, right. But here's my point though. And I want to emphasize this. It's real estate. The more real estate you cover online, that means blogs, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, the more pages you're on, the more you control your view.
You control your narrative, yeah.
Yeah.
And I haven't
People understand that.
I'm not a social networking person because I never tag anything. I'm gonna tag something now though. At MD World.
But here's the thing: writing, having more than one Twitter account, having more than one Facebook page, having more than one Instagram account. Real estate online is key. If you don't have a lot of real estate, you can't protect yourself. You need real estate.
Dude, I had very little. I understand what you're saying, man. I had very little real estate, and when I died, we should probably explain to people what that means. When I died, I was one of the biggest trending things on Twitter. Right?
Hey.
Wait, let me finish, and let me do it like you finished. Look, wait, where's the camera? Look, these things say, and then this thing. Online is places you have to go. Twitter. You got to go Twitter, And Facebook and Instagram, not Honeygram, not a graham cracker. You got to go this place to be on. Because Michael, I know you work in media and you ran the, but let me tell you what I'm talking about. You know, because I'm zany. They call me zany. I got a newspaper. I got 95 YouTube channels. Instagram is named after my mom. You know, she doesn't want to have people know how she's famous she is. You know, I'm not on Twitter. I actually support Twitter with my charitable donations. So I know exactly. So I know a little bit about media savvy, which is why this is an important moment for me. I'm giving Google talks. I talk all over the fucking planet. I never tag anything. I'm about to start doing it.
Yeah.
At MD World.
Yeah. We also have more than one account. And
I got more than one account.
I have
the Black Panel on not forget the website. Did you kill it?
No. I didn't kill that. I'm trying to kill it. But my point is regarding that.
You better look, we better clear that up.
No. But my point is that, and what Michael's talking about, I think it has to be openly said, is the blackpanel.com should belong to this man, but it was taken from him. And the person who's using it is running a website that has PHP code that's outdated. What does that mean? If you visit it and you see these codes and these warnings, that's because the person that's running it doesn't know how to maintain it. That's not his fault. Okay.
But tell him. Take it away from me. I have
a way where you can get it.
Let him know why it's taken away from me. The card game.
I guarantee you'll get it back. But there's another way. Okay.
But dude, here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Tell him why it was taken away. Because the way you put it, Michael no longer has that. It was taken away from him. It sounds like I lost in the goddamn card game. You know.
Oh, is that?
Moon baby. It sounds like because you haven't given it a preamble, it was not taken away. It was hacked away.
Thank you.
That needs to be said because people think that. I mean, it was hacked. It was hacked big time. I mean, you know about the hack.
When did you find out it was lost? Because you're not the only person I know of who's going through this. I have another friend, I'm not going to mention who is. And I went through that for a time with one of my URLs, a major one, and my client had a brilliant take. He says, just put the in front of it and you'll be fine and buy a new URL.
Oh, man,
and that's the whole
I get it.
And you know what I've figured out? I definitely need to share this. The more real estate you have around the Black Planet, okay?
Panel.
Like the Black Panel, excuse me? Like the Black Panel, all right? I'll tell you offline, but the more real estate you own, you can quite literally make that person's URL that they took from you redundant. What's the term? I'm less than significant.
Stole from me.
Right. You can make it less than significant by surrounding it. There are ways to get around it where it comes back to where it is.
Problem.
Okay.
I don't want to just, you come to me with this thing. I want. Oh, right, that's the wrong Marlboro to do. I'll do Robert De Niro. I want him dead. I want his family dead. I want his sister-in-law dead. Keep his sister, not his sister-in-law, not his sister, because his sister's fine. I want his dog dead. I want his mother's dog dead. I want his mother's dog dead. That died already. I want you to dig that motherfucker up and kill him again. Motherfucker. Dude, man. I mean, look, man, I love you in a non-sexual way, even though I don't like you, right? But Let me just explain it to you again like you explained it, right? So I've got a
That's actually better than mine. I like that better. I like that way better.
Because I'm wearing the hat, man, and I got hair, right? But part of my problem is this. I got a multitude of URLs that I own, right? I got a multitude of media presence. I write for two of the biggest pop culture websites on the web, right? And I don't ever tag anything. I don't ever do any of that stuff. When I give a public, I don't do that stuff. I'll start doing it now because unfortunately, I actually listened to what we were talking about this afternoon, and I'm never gonna say this again. Oh shit, you got a tape of it. right? But yeah, I mean, life. I can't say what I was about to say because that shit is wrong. life and life and hobbits are short. It wasn't going to be hobbits. I was going to say though, right? So, but I mean, I've never really used the power. I never really used my rings, you know, the way that I could, because I just don't think it's. I just want to stay home and create stuff, and write, but you know, I mean,
yeah,
whatever, right? So how did I get to be the only person? What about you know, people still think it's just static, man. Let's talk about my school program.
Yes, yeah, please. And while you're doing that, I'm going to show you something about real estate and what I'm talking about. For example, this is about you, the latest news. If one types, excuse me, not there, but here, this is on Google. If I type Michael Davis right here, the Black Panel, that's what I get in search. But if I click on news, look what's number one, talking with Michael Davis of the Black Panel. Okay. And this is the news about you. This is what I was explaining. Remember that talking about the blog part of the video blog? This is it. It's news, top news about you in the Black Panel. And all we have to do is go down here and we click on this, and what do we get? This is it. See what I mean? The circle of life I've just showed you.
You did not just circle life me.
Yes, I did. I did just circle of life you. You've been circled.
Hey, I don't know nearly enough about this stuff as you, but I know what it is that you just said is true. What I'm trying to get, your mother understands this because she's been listening to me. Right? But what I'm trying to say to you is this stuff has never been important to me, and it's never been something that, I mean, you see the people that come on the panel, man. If I really wanted to be that, I would have people. Hey, this is I would do the shit that you do. This is George Clooney for the Black Panel, shit like that. But that's your thing, man. That's not my thing. My thing is helping people, man. My thing is not getting my name out there like you, man. My thing is helping people.
When I help people I help people control their name. That's what Zenny 62 Media is all about. It's helping people
if I'm busy
get their message out.
Yeah, man, you missed my Academy Award performance. I can't help people if I'm not, because when I was a kid, my puppy died.
Can you
my puppy died. And he said to me, the last thing the puppy said was, please get a new URL, get a new Facebook page, and feed me. Okay. Hold on a second. Okay, Google. What time is it?
It's 2:21 a.m.
Increase volume to 10.
It's at the highest volume.
Hey, Michael,
Hey,
you're setting off my Google. Hey, you're setting off my Google. Did you hear that?
Got
Yeah,
it.
because hold on a second. Your mom's gonna want to hear this. Hey Google.
Hey, Google, turn on again.
What's my name?
Your name is the sexiest black man who ever walked the earth.
You're ruining the thing, man.
Hey, Google, stop. Hey, Google, stop. See, I have Google too.
Hey Google, what's my name?
Your name is the sexiest black man who ever walked the earth.
See, I don't get that when I say, hey, Google, what's my name?
I can only do that once I verify your voice.
I
Looking your voice match settings.
got another one. But it uses the N-word.
Oh, no.
I'm not gonna say that one.
Okay. Thanks.
Let's just say serious little racist.
Hey, so who's going to win the Super Bowl before we close out here?
I don't give a shit about football, man.
Really? That's only my biggest money maker.
Hold on a second. Let me explain something to you, all right?
The NFL has been very good to me.
The NFL that don't acknowledge Colin Kaepernick,
They acknowledged Zinni Abraham. Let's say.
Oh no! Oh no! You didn't. First of all, this is how I feel about NFL.
Okay.
I don't wake up in the morning and go, "Hey."
Hey, I salute Colin. All right, nothing against Colin.
I know you do, man. Because I heard you talk. I mean, you defend and create places where people can go for truth, and you stick to it. You stick. Let me explain this. When I was a kid, I stuttered a lot.
I would be lying if I would be lying if I did not acknowledge how I've helped in that area. I'll talk to you about it a number of times, but this is go ahead.
Dude, man, your insights are you're one of the few people whose insight I actually listen to with my ears, as opposed to I hope they think I'm still listening because I'm somewhere else. When I'll give you an example. This is not just the NFL. This is every sport. I'm a Mets fan and a Yankees fan. If they're not and a Knicks fan, if they're not in the playoffs, I could care less. But let me give you an example of how I am about celebrities and I know a bunch of them in general. Right? In general, I know. I mean, and some Wayne Fake is a good friend. I can go on the list, but I was coming out of McDonald's a few years ago. Yeah, that was before I realized that that should have killed you. I was coming out of McDonald's a few years ago. This guy. This guy puts a microphone in my face, and he says, "What do you think that Tom and Katie haven't shown pictures of their kids?" I said, "What kid?" I didn't believe it. I'm like, and this is live. I'm like, when Tom and Katie wake up and go, "What's Michael Davis doing?" I'll give a fuck. We're live. I'm like, that's my problem, man. You know, I have no time. I mean, no disrespect to anybody who does this, but you're an idiot. Oh wait, that's disrespectful. I have no time to worry about what's going on in Tom Cruise's life. I have no time to worry about what's going on. You know what? I appreciate the genius of people like Kanye West, even though I got a problem with his whole political thing, because that boy is all about keeping his shit out there for whatever reason. But I don't care about anything that he's doing on any day of the week, because he's not thinking, I need to call Mike, because so now I respect people, dude. I ain't got nothing but love for Jay-Z. I ain't got nothing but love for Jay-Z and his whole operation. But when he's talking about the empowerment of young black musicians, you know what I'm talking about, the empowerment of young black musicians, that's different. Just turn away on me. Fine. Just turn away. When he's talking about
things on in the back there, so it's supposed to be turned off. So it seems like it. So
dude,
sorry about that.
Can you do an expand me for a second? Can you pretend to be me and I'll be you and I'm doing the interview?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so what do you think about the state of education these days?
I think it's fucked up.
What? Yeah, right. You think it's fucked up? Get it? I'm doing this. I'm talking to my mom. Yeah. I just finished telling you about, how I was bitten by a radioactive spider and shit and how it changed my life. And you're like, what? Right. So, I am enjoying this conversation in a non-sexual way.
I had you down there, right?
Huh?
Hey, I have to thank you, by the way, for inviting me to that dinner at the gas lamp district of 6 years ago. That was very nice. Thank you.
Yeah, well, you skipped down on the check. You thought it was free?
You told me you paid. I stayed until the bitter end, which actually wasn't bitter. It was
that didn't cost me $6,000 a year. But do I not got some of the coolest mofos in that bitch? Am I not? Is that not?
Well, I gotta ask you, what's the best Comic-Con party you've ever been to other than one that you?
No.
Oh,
The best Comic-Con party, and this is not a joke. The best Comic-Con party I've ever been to are mine.
yeah. I would say outside of the ones that you threw.
Star Wars.
Really? Say that one more time.
Star Wars.
Oh.
Yeah, they had this thing on the top of their U.S. grant. Yeah,
Mhm.
Star Wars. And then
I remember that. Yep, I remember that. I remember I didn't get invited to that party.
I think what's that company with the letters?
Mm-hmm.
Is it IBM? No, not IBM. That's the comic book company that does these really beautiful books. Is it ICM?
Yeah, I see him. Yeah.
No, ICM's an agency.
That guy's named Tim. Used to get emails from him all the time, every Comic-Con.
Yeah, but they give good parties.
Yeah.
You know, but ain't no party like a Michael Davis party. Cause ain't
No.
cause my party, come on, man. The Hollywood Reporter calls my party the governor's ball of Comic-Con.
Hey, the Hollywood Reporter.
Hollywood Reporter comes to my party.
The Hollywood Reporter called that. You know what? That's the gold standard right there. You can die and go to heaven. Right? That's perfect.
Getty Images always like, can we come to your party? I'm like, yo, man, who are you? Getty. You know what I'm saying? Well, first of all, to your audience, I just want to say, look, I'm not making fun of anybody. I'm not making fun of black people, gay people, because I say, you know, when I say in a non-sexual way, I'm not making fun of gay people, right? Because the reality is, I am gay. I'm a lesbian. I like girls. But,
you like
yeah. So you want to ask me anything about my my love affair with Halle Berry?
yeah, tell us about it. Also, by the way,
I woke up and she was gone because I was dreaming.
A mutual friend of ours we talked about in brief. I'm not going to play the whole video, but just a good friend of ours.
I love this guy, not in a sexual way though.
Your friend Dave Glanzer, who is I call him the czar of which I love that. I mean, it's like you're the czar of the king of all your survey.
I always love chatting with you because I always get bumped up. So you can call me, you know,
master of the universe.
You're way on the clouds as far as I'm concerned.
Anyway, that man has been a great friend to both of us.
I love Dave.
But Dave is
cool.
Awesome guy.
He is cool. He was cool. But about media imprints and all the rest of that stuff.
He represents some of what I miss about
screen. But you know, we're friends, and you know, we've known each other for a long time, and you know,
yeah.
And I agree that I forget what I was about to say, but I'm gonna clean it up in a second. Wait. I agree that having a clear message and having that clear message repeated as much as you can is important. Is that right?
Yes.
And I also agree that people should be absolutely informed in a way that they can pass this information on, because if you see somebody like me and then you hear these things and you don't know how to pass this information on, and I agree, I just tag more stuff, right? But I also I'm just gonna go out there and just put this out there, man. I'm just gonna put this out there, man. But your mom still there?
Yeah, mom is cleaning up.
Is she watching on the big screen?
And she's watching on the big screen. How'd you know?
I got people.
I told you, that's right.
I got people. Oh, by the way, your call's ready.
Say what?
Oh, no, don't worry about it. You know, I thought you knew. Then you're gonna have to find out how I knew it was at the mechanic. So, can I ask your mom a question?
Yeah, mommy has a question for you.
For you, but you can't answer it for her.
But you're saying I can't answer it for mom?
You cannot answer for her.
Okay, I can't. Okay, cool.
Okay, so what is it?
What's the question?
What do I call her? Miss
Yerger.
Miss
Yerger.
Miss Yerger. Oh, that's an interesting name.
Yerger.
Mm-hmm.
Queen Yerger. That's even better, right?
There you go.
What does Motu mean?
What is what?
Motu.
I was looking at that and wondering myself.
Yeah, what does Motu mean?
Why'd you put it up there?
No, you put it up there.
You know what it means. But instead of putting my name up there where people can go, oh, this guy's name, and being clear of it, I see Zany Abraham, CEO, Zany62. I get Motu.
I didn't put.
But wait. The guy that produced TV shows. But wait, the guy that produced TV shows. Michael, you need to get your brand out there. People need to know who you are. People need to know this. And here's another thing. I do all this, and then this, and this, and this. You need to get your shit out there.
I swear to God,
Motu.
I didn't put it out there. I can edit the settings though. That's
people watching.
His name.
Yeah, it came up, and I didn't know to change it. I can edit your name. Oh, hold on a second.
For everything.
I will fix that. Hold on a second.
But your mom, I knew she would say, she said exactly what I'm thinking everybody else is thinking.
How's that?
I was wondering what that meant.
Mr. Davis, how's that?
Dr. Davis.
Dr. Davis. Dr. Michael Davis.
Oh, don't let me have to grab my thing off the wall.
Wait a minute.
You laughing? You think that's funny?
No, I don't, because I know you're Dr.
Hold on a second. Why can't
Michael Davis? Dr. Michael Davis.
Technically, no.
No, I've seen the reference.
I got a great joke.
I know. I've seen the reference before. Dr. Michael Davis, and
but don't put that up there, because I only bring that out when I want to impress white people.
Well, that's the
Who
purpose.
insult my intelligence. I only bring that up when people insult my intelligence, right? So, but you don't leave that there, because then people turn in late thinking I'm gonna. Oh wait, yeah, ladies, I'm a doctor. So.
Okay,
No, just say Michael Davis, Master of the Universe.
Okay, hold on a second.
I got plenty of time. I ain't going nowhere. It's not like I'm getting paid for this.
Harry, how's that? See?
That's not how you spell my name.
Davis?
Major look. So yes,
You made me look. Thanks, man. It's called I'm horrible. I admit it.
It's like you just wrote it, and you're an educated man, and I'm like, that's not how you spell it. You're like, what?
I want to ask you as we close, because we go on for hours, but
hey, that's what she said.
What do you make of the fact that
she was wrong, by the way?
Right. I was born in 1962,
yes, sir.
which actually the same year the Hulk was created, by the way.
Why do you keep assuming I don't know this stuff, man? Who created
it? Jack Kirby, Stan Lee, and who am I missing? 1962. Remember the Guthrie Ranker cartoons? Dr.
No.
Ben? Right.
Oh, wait. You mean Dr. Branna, built it by Gamma Rays? Who's your daddy? I don't know.
Pelted by Gamma Rays.
Oh, yeah, man. And that is the ever-loving Hulk.
Right.
Hulk. I don't remember that because I wasn't born.
I
heard about that.
Right. We got the monkeys. We have Batman.
Whoa. Why is your son insulting my racial makeup? Stop that.
I'm talking about the monkeys, the group. Dude, Peter.
I was at Motown. When I was at Motown, I'm in my office, and these young people come in with this idea for a show, right? And they said that they want to do a show where boys and men. They want to reboot a show, and they have boys and men be the stars of the show, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they were serious. Guess what show they wanted to reboot?
The Monkeys. You're kidding me.
I'm not kidding you.
Whoa. This is a headline. You're telling me. This is a Twitter headline.
This is not, no, these are people pitching me. This is not Motown. They were pitching me to do this show.
They're picking you to do the show.
The Monkeys. starring Boys and Men.
Wow, what happened to that?
Well, I don't know if the cops found their body. I think they're still. What do you mean that happened to that? I didn't do it. Somebody didn't do it.
Why not? It would have been a hit. I mean, look, the original Monkeys were.
I don't know what he's talking about. What?
No, the original Monkeys were, you know the story about the band and how
they were created to be a Beatles. They weren't really a real band.
Right. Yeah.
Dude, man, pop culture is my thing.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on a second. You know there was a World War II, right?
Yeah.
Because that's how you talk to me, Michael. Michael, I'm just trying to help you, man. Check it out. The more Instagram show. I have 1,200 Instagram accounts, right? And I know them all by heart. Zany 1, Zany 2, Zany 3, and it goes Zany. Michael, change your name and use Zany because that's mine. And because the more you know, the more you have.
It's real estate, Michael.
That's like real estate. Yeah.
It's real estate. Internet real estate, Michael. Remember that.
The Hulk was created in 1962. Spider-Man was created in 1963. The Fantastic Four was created in 1961.
Right. 1961, right. Yeah.
That's what it was, 1961. Right. Spider-Man came after that. Spider-Man created by Steve Ditko and Stan Lee. I used to have I can't believe I'm saying this. I used to have a complete Marvel and DC Silver Age. But this company, this storage company, instead of moving that out here.
Right. My question to you though is how far can we go with all these characters that were created in the 60s that have shaped our culture? What's next? What character hasn't been done?
What's next? And this is not a joke. What's next is what Wayne and I are doing. Because the stuff that we're doing.
Yeah, get Wayne Brady on here. Get Wayne Brady on the show. I'll split the ad revenue with you guys.
Okay, here's the thing.
That'd be huge.
Here's the thing, right?
Okay.
Whose line is it anyway?
Good show.
It's my time. Get it? I'm saying that to you. Whose line is it anyway? Because this is my show right now.
Whose line?
Your mother got it. She said, like, whose line? You want to get Wayne on? I'm like, whose line is it anyway? It's my line right now. I'm not calling Wayne at 3:00 in the morning. I mean, almost midnight. I'll text him though, see if he's up.
We can always do another show, of course, but I didn't mean wake him up right now. But
I'm gonna text him.
Oh, you're gonna text him? Okay. We'll send him a link.
I'm not sending him a link. That's presumptuous, right?
Ask him if he's going to Tokyo.
Just this is a pretty highbrow thing. And then you went get up. Send him a link, man. Get him on the show. Because I want to tell him about real estate. I want to get Wayne Brady about real estate. Wayne. Check it out. You need to have more than one Let's Make a Deal. You need to have 55 Let's Make a Deals on Instagram.
Yeah, and we would be making a deal. Perfect.
You
Let's make a deal with Wayne Brady.
Jake Bernstein is? I was.
Yeah. As I say, peace, right? Well, you got a peace hat, so
I'm not going to play this for you. There's a whole bunch of people out there who think that I don't know. They think that it's like
it won't give me a copyright claim, will it?
Give you a what?
It won't give me a copyright claim from YouTube, will it? If you play?
No.
It? All right. Thank God.
I do that to you, Batman. Sorry.
Are you looking?
I'm not gonna.
Are you looking forward to?
It's not cool.
Are you looking forward to Robert Pattinson as Bruce Wayne Batman?
I'm a Batman hoe. I'm a Batman slut. when me and Wayne, we usually talk on the FaceTime.
Yeah. There's Wayne. Yeah.
What? You don't like this motherfucker? What? So tell me. No, he called me. We're good. Mm-hmm. You got a question to ask him?
Yeah. Hey, Mr. Brady.
He's not here.
Oh.
That's a tape. That's a tape he sent me. Like Merry Christmas or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay. I was gonna ask him for a Super Bowl prediction. So there you go.
Yeah. Well. Oh yeah. Because You know what? I do have a Super Bowl prediction.
Okay.
The Rams, are they in the Super Bowl?
Am I going to Super Bowl? No.
Are the Rams in the Super Bowl?
The Rams versus the Bengals.
Right.
Yes.
I'm choosing the Bengals.
You're in LA, right? It's right down the street.
What's right down the street?
Well, the Super Bowl's in Inglewood.
I'm in Beverly Hills.
Oh, hey, you're in Beverly Hills. We got to go, you and I, to my favorite place in Beverly Hills. Uh-oh.
Inglewood. I've been to Inglewood.
Oh, I'm just saying that's where the stadium is.
Inglewood?
Right, but you and I have to go to my favorite place.
I need to be living in Inglewood. I like it there. Why I need to be down the street, man?
Well, I can't help that it's in Inglewood. That's where the stadium is. The stadium is worth $5 billion, Mike.
I didn't say that. I didn't say you had to help it. Why did you just assume I live in Inglewood?
I didn't say you lived in Inglewood. The Super Bowl's in Inglewood. Super Bowl's in Inglewood, not you.
Hello, Queen. Do you hear him just excuse me living in? Hey, look, I like Inglewood. Inglewood, that's man. There's a restaurant in Inglewood, man. Soul food restaurant.
Beverly Hills, the Polo Lounge. My favorite place in the whole wide world, other than the 21 Club, which is.
I'm not in Beverly Hills.
You're not?
Not now.
Oh. What's that?
And scene. I'm in the Valley, man. When I first got to LA, I lived in Beverly Hills.
Oh, okay.
But I got tired of this. Put your hands up.
I
I was emptying my true story. I'm emptying my trash at 2:00 in the morning in pajamas. Put it down, put your hands up.
What?
Not kidding.
What? Well, they thought you were. What do they think? You were.
I guess they thought I was a trash can burglar.
What? Jeez.
Dude, man, I don't get me started. You know, I was threatened with being thrown out of. I left. They were going to throw me out of the Hilton in Anaheim for saying that this is not. I'm not joking. Saying the words "Lower Alabama."
What?
Did you read that article? I mean, that when I was, people came up to me. I was online to extend my stay, and these two people, white couple, came up to me and asked me if I'd been on TV the night before, and I was. I was on the CNN. I was on a CNN thing with CNN or NBC. I was on some cable show. I do so many. And she said,
"The guy who doesn't watch on TV a lot."
Yeah. Well, the girl asked me if I lived in LA. I said, "Well, yeah, technically, but I'm from New York and I still have a residence there." To me, but to me, LA stands for Lower Alabama. I get up to the front desk. The guy goes, "I'm not extending your room."
He's not extending your room.
Why? Because you insulted one of our guests.
What?
Dude, I'm not kidding. I wrote about it.
You
insulted one of our guests. How do I insult your guests? You said that LA stands for Lower Alabama. My grandfather lives in Alabama. I'm dead fucking serious. I'm like, what?
See that?
Now,
You know
remember,
what?
I was already a guest there, and I'm a Hilton's Gold member. I'm not kidding. I was already a guest there. I was coming down to extend the stay in my room. Actually, I wanted to extend the stay, but only for like a couple of hours, because I don't like rushing and shit.
Michael, this is why this happened to me today. I went to get some food for my mom because she toils in the kitchen cooking some of the best meals I've ever made in my life, and I wanted to treat her. And I'm coming toward the register, and this random lady that works at this place, great place, I'm not going to say the name, but out of the blue, she asks me if I know anything about how catalytic converters are stolen. She asked me,
well, the first thing you gotta do is pop the screw cap.
No, you know what I said to her? I said, "Ma'am, I know nothing about cars. Programming, you can ask me about programming languages. I can answer your question."
Then she said, "Do you know how Macintoshes are stolen?"
Well, which would have been the wrong question anyway, because it had nothing to do with programming language. I see you want to ask me about the programming language or HTML or.
Oh man, that's the.
I got.
Hold on a second.
Silence, right? And the reason why I did that, you know why? Thank you. You know why I did that? Because I'm thinking in the split second in my head, okay, she's going to take my answer, and if I even answer in the affirmative, that could be turned around to
or a joke.
Oh, he knows right? I mean, I'm hardwired against that stuff.
Dude,
and it's true. I don't know a ton about catalytic converters anyway.
This is gonna make you. This is gonna endear your mom to me.
You know what? Get this. The cashier standing next to her, they work together. She goes, "Oh, I'm getting a headache." I didn't even acknowledge that either. Let me pay my bill and get out of here.
Funny. So, dude, let me tell you what happened to me. So then the guy goes, "I'm not in your room, and you have 20 minutes." I'm like, "What? 20 minutes for what?" Before I call the police.
What?
Oh, what?
Because you said Low Alabama?
Lower Alabama. It's from a James Brown song. James Brown, you've heard this song. James Brown goes to his best. Where you from?
Yeah, Low Alabama.
Yeah, no, that's the last thing. Georgia, North Carolina, and then the guy goes L.A. You go L.A.
You know what you should have said? Doggone it. You all are not American citizens. You don't know what that means?
Dude, so
James Brown is a quintessentially American icon. You should know that automatically.
But the thing
embarrass a lot of people.
Now that was at that moment. If the cops would have showed up, I would have been shocked because I was in one of those falling into a melancholy state, right? This motherfucker was just, but he messed with the wrong. So the article that I told you, the Fear and Loathing in L.A. or 20 Minutes You Hope Comic-Con Never Hit, They Hope Comic-Con Never Hit about, it details the entire thing, right? And I wrote it in such a way that it was a long article, but I peppered it with photographs. You know, it's like, guy, it says, "Who am I?" Guy kicked out of, this is the guy who was kicked out of.
Send that to me, please.
Dude, okay, I'll send it to you now. Okay. But dude, when you see this, anyway, I called Hilton 62 times over the weekend. You know why? Not Hilton Corporate. You know why I did that? Because ain't nobody working Saturday and Sunday in Hilton Corporate. But when I say I called you guys 62 times and nobody called me, that's the truth. It'd be easy if you look it up. Oh, this whole stutter thing. When I stutter, it's because I stuttered as a kid. And when I get excited.
What am I writing? What search term am I using here?
Fear and Loathing in Orange County, or 20 Minutes They Hope Comic-Con Never Hears About. It'll come right up. Do the bleed. It was picked up all over the place, but do the Bleeding Cool one.
Fear and Loathing, or 20 Minutes
They Hope Comic-Con Never Hears About.
They Hope.
Make sure your mom sees it because there's some impressive stuff in there.
Okay, here's about. Found it.
Now, it's too long an article to read, but you'll get the gist of it if you just look at the photographs on that. If you go down and you see the photographs, right? Can you put that on the screen?
That's exactly what I'm working on.
Yo, we here. I think that's a whole thing by itself.
There it is. Fear and Loathing, Orange County, or 20 Minutes They Wish Comic-Con Will Never Hear About. Michael Davis from The Edge. And who am I? Last year.
You don't read that. That's stupid. We're long. Just go to the photos.
Okay.
Read the caption. Check it out.
Guy kicked out and threatened with arrest for daring to utter the words Lower Alabama, being interviewed outside his annual San Diego Comic-Con SDCC Comic-Con party.
Oh, it gets better.
Oh my gosh.
Go to the next one. Your mom's looking right because I want to impress her.
Yeah. She's enjoying ice cream. She sees
ice cream.
Yeah. And where's the next photograph?
No, wait, hold on a second. I don't know. Where is the next one?
There's a lot of ads here.
You know, this site, man, is crazy.
Oh, here's another one. Who? Presidential candidate Dr. Ben Carson, CEO Diamond Inc. Steve Gippy and Guy kicked out and threatened with arrest for daring to utter the words "Lower Alabama" at a Gippy Entertainment Museum event. So you knew Ben Carson?
Yeah. Everybody knows Ben.
I didn't know that. I don't know him.
Well, his campaign called me up and threatened me because I put this picture online and said, "Look, don't ever play truth and dare with me because that's the first threesome I've ever had with a man. But don't ever play truth and dare with me." They like threaten me. I'm like, threaten you what? Is it true? Right? I just, you can come after me for making a joke and kiss my ass. I literally said that. You can kiss my ass.
And the CEO of Diamond Inc. is Steve Gippy. He's the guy in the middle, right?
That boy is part owner of the Baltimore Orioles and the Baltimore Ravens.
Okay. That's why I know them.
Steve, he owns Baltimore Magazine, Baltimore Ravens, Baltimore Orioles, Diamond Distributors, which is the biggest pop culture distributor on the planet. And unlike any other Republican, he doesn't own any slaves. Steve's one of my dearest friends. I love him in a non-sexual way. He's cool as shit, right? But look. You can't be hanging out with a group like that and doing what I'm doing and not have some sweat, right?
That's right. Major.
But wait, there's more.
I'm scrolling. That's you giving your presentation. Guy kicked
Hilton
with arrest for daring to utter the words "Lower Alabama" on stage during 2015 Eisner Awards. I was there. I came in. It was so packed. I was at the back. I remember that.
Of course, you was at the Black Man. That was a Republican hotel.
Hey, it's a great hotel, though. I'm not gonna.
I'm
not gonna badmouth the Hilton, man.
That hotel. Hey, look, the Hilton staff just drew me to. This happened at the Hilton. That's the Anaheim.
This is the Hilton that threw you out?
No, the Anaheim Hilton threw me out. But the Hilton Corporation was responsible for this shit, right? But it gets better. What, are they sponsors?
Oh, yeah. Hey, it's Orlando Jones with the guy who with the guy kicked out and threatened with arrest for daring to utter the words "Lower Alabama." Oh Lord. Oh my gosh.
And by the way, I had nothing to promote. Usually people that get to be these big time award presenters, they got something to promote. I ain't had nothing to promote. Right. I was just rolling.
Yeah, you built your brand. I
was promoting my brand. Right.
Let's see. Hey, there's you and Wayne Brady on the set of his hit TV show Let's Make a Deal. Wayne is filming a welcome video for Milestones.
One of the most talented people I've ever seen.
Yep. Mom says that Wayne Brady is one of the most talented people she's ever seen.
He's my boy.
Wow.
Yep.
What an association. That's fantastic.
Now he's all right. You know what?
Let's Make a Deal. This is it. Yeah.
He's clinging to my footsteps. I'm kind of getting tired of him.
Hey, he's what now?
Clinging to his footsteps.
I don't blame him.
This is my favorite one coming up.
Whoa.
Not that one.
Whoa. International superstar Neo, who we saw in our video previous, guy kicked out and threatened with arrest for daring to utter the words "Lower Alabama." Film and TV star J. August Richards, mega artist Dania Cowan, an actor.
Dennis Cowan.
Denny's Cowan. Thank you, Cowan. Yeah, an actor and comedian Orlando Jones. At guy kicked out and threatened with arrest for daring to utter the words "Lower Alabama" annual dinner at San Diego Comic-Con International. This was 2015, right?
Yeah, I think
2014.
It was 2014. The year my mom died. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah, that was also the year of my video where J. August Richard dropped the mic.
Yeah, that's why he's there.
Yeah. That's just the same year. Yeah.
Wow.
This one's kind of sad.
Well, it's been a pleasure, but I'm going to bed.
Okay, Mom's. Oh, hey, you got met John Lewis. Has got with John.
He did a
Lewis.
radio show to go.
He did.
No, we did.
John Lewis and with guy kicked
Yeah,
out and threatened. Yeah.
One day, and the guy talked to me just like he was my brother or something, because I was incensed over something that was going on in Atlanta.
I like what you wrote down here, Michael. It says SDCC, San Diego Comic-Con, isn't a convention, it's a culture.
Yep.
Not just people. Mom says she's totally impressed with you. You know what? Where's my stature with my mom? Thank you.
It gets even better.
Oh, okay. But it says SDCC isn't a convention, it's a culture. It's not just people in silly costumes parading around. It's people who share a love of something that is hard to understand if you're not one of us. I could not have said that better, Michael.
I'm very talented.
In San Diego, there's no reason to think walking in a hotel lobby dressed as a character from an obscure comic book will get the police called on you, even if said character is wearing a replica weapon and is a black man. In 40 plus years, no one has been shot by the police, nor have the police been called because someone was wearing a gun that looked too real during Comic-Con. Oh my gosh. This is wild.
That shit, but in Orange County, in Orange County's been trying to get Comic-Con for years. That's why it will never go there, ever.
Wow.
Right? That's why the subtitle is all 20 minutes they hope Comic-Con will never hear about.
Well, hey, how about, because remember that they had the WonderCon in Orange County?
WonderCon's in Anaheim. It's a different kind of convention.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. That is true.
And at Anaheim, they don't take over the city in Anaheim.
No, they don't. No, it's you have to. And we've both been there. In fact, yeah.
Yeah. Your mom's gonna love the next one.
Oh, okay. Hold a second. Let's see here. Where is it? Silence, Not Our Bodies. It says Not Our Bodies. Silence Hurts Everyone. Special guests.
I was
poster event.
Me Too became a thing. Ever since my sister died, I've been involved in drawing attention toward women of color and all women, against battery and rape and stuff. But wait, you got to read this one for your mom because this is my favorite one.
Okay.
Wait, you go. Where you going? You gotta read the caption.
Oh, poster of event, Not Our Bodies, featuring keynote speaker Michael Davis, aka guy kicked out and threatened with arrest for daring to utter the words "Lower Alabama."
Look where it's at.
Event held at the University of Alabama. Oh my God. Oh, that takes it right there, man.
Hey, dude.
That takes it.
Somebody from corporate called me on that Monday, right? and said that they would look into it. I said they're gonna look into it. I said check your videotape. If not, I got plenty of people with cell phone information there, right?
Yeah.
And so we're gonna play that game, and then I tell them who my lawyers were, right? And then this is how you know you can win any negotiation, any. When somebody says to you, "What do you want?" And I said, nothing, just an apology, right?
They apologize?
Huh?
They apologize?
Oh, but wait, there's more. Tell your son to stop cutting me off, right?
All right.
I said, nothing, just an apology, right? Now, let me just preamble for you. the Hilton Corporation is one of the biggest hospitality businesses on the planet. They ain't playing, right? They are huge. And you and I both know that, is that another one? Did I have another one on there? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's more here, yeah. This is quite a piece, man.
Oh, wait. Read for your mom. Read his underneath the position thing.
His positions as an entertainment executive include president and CEO of Motown Animation and Filmworks, president of animation at Magic Johnson Entertainment, president of publishing at Blackboard Entertainment, and vice president, director of talent, and co-founder of Milestone Media. He's created, written, illustrated, or produced original content for comics, television, radio, publishing, and reading programs as
very sexy.
Alumni from his Bad Boy Studio Mentor program are some of the most respected talents working in comics, television, and illustration today. You actually had them on a panel, too.
I had a few of them, like Bernard Chang was on there, right?
Yeah.
But here's what, corporate America never admits anything. They don't. They want to go toe-to-toe with you in court and they're going to steal you. But they can't. I'm not that guy. Not only did I get an apology, I got a written apology without signing anything saying I wouldn't sue. And just like I thought, the reason I did that because if I was, I could have sued. It would have been. There's no, with my lawyers, they would have wrote me a check on the way to the courthouse. But I was in a state, and I didn't want to. It was just too much for me to deal with in my depressed state of mind. So, but I'm not stupid. So they wrote me a written apology. They tried to lawyer it up, but it's still the videotape and that apology admits that they're wrong. Just in case, and I had to do that just in case this shit happened again. And if you Google "Black Man Sues the Hilton for $10 million," it happened again.
What?
They threw this guy out of the Hilton, who was sitting in the lobby on the phone with his mother because the cell phone wasn't working in his room, right? Threw him out, right? Just now, they must have paid that boy off because you don't hear anything else about it.
10 million.
10 million.
Oh my God.
And
you find it?
Yep, I sure did. Black man who sues the Hilton, kicked out of DoubleTree, sues for 10 million. Here it is, right here, folks.
That's the same brand that kicked me out, the DoubleTree. That tried to kick. I had to leave, but
That was Wednesday, October 9th, 2019.
Oh my
Guess
God.
whose lawyers called me once they read my shit?
His.
Yep.
Jeez.
Oh my God.
Portland, Oregon. The African-American man who claims he was kicked out of the DoubleTree hotel he was staying at in Portland for making a phone call in the lobby. That's silly. In December 2000,
it's silly. That's why it's a news program. It's a news article.
Jermaine Massey filed the lawsuit Tuesday against SW Portland LLC, Hilton Domestic Operating Company Incorporated, WMK Portland LLC, and Earl Myers Jr. and Louis Polanco for false arrest and race discrimination.
He was arrested?
Yeah. It says false arrest and race discrimination.
I didn't know he was arrested.
35-year-old Massey.
Oh, yeah, he was arrested. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, was a registered guest at the DoubleTree Hotel on December 22nd, 2018, and was seated in the public lobby and speaking on the phone to his mother. His mother, when a security guard approached him. The lawsuit alleges the guard interrupted Massey's phone call and continued to interrupt him even after Massey told him it was an important call and a family matter. The security guard, Earl Myers Jr., I'm glad that they outed him, asked Massey to show him what room he was in and produce a room key. According to a police report in the incident, Massey refused to provide his room number. Oh, don't do that, okay? Folks, don't.
Yeah, that's not cool.
Not smart, okay? If you have a room number, a room key, just give it to them.
Not that it mattered, because I had 2 suites at the time that they threw me out of the Hilton. I was filming a TV show there.
Yeah, and so, and there you go. It says in videos the incident, Massey pulls out a key card with a room number and a date on it. It's not clear if Massey showed the card to hotel staff. Well, he pulled it out. What are you talking about? So basically, the police report lied because they have a video. This is how.
What else is new?
This is how jacked up this is. I mean, this is where logic comes in again, Michael. According to a police report on the incident, Massey refused to provide his room number. But in the next paragraph, they write, in videos of the incident, Massey pulls out a key card with a room number and date on it. But then they write, it's not clear if Massey showed the card to hotel staff. But he pulled it out and somebody saw it. They saw it.
And hotel staff must have known he was there in the first place. If they're treating black people like that, there couldn't have been a lot of them in there.
Yeah, and then Myers reportedly told Massey that he was loitering and contacted the hotel manager, Luis Polanco. Polanco called police and asked Massey to leave the hotel. This is some weak sauce. According to the lawsuit,
it's not anywhere near as weak. It's fucked up as mine.
You're right. You're right.
Called the police on me for saying Lower Alabama.
Oh my Lord, this is this stuff is nuts. I mean, the people who are responsible.
He should be paying more attention to mine because mine is a better story.
You know what, Michael? Let me tell you something. Look.
Tell me this way.
Look, pay attention to me. Folks, I don't care what color you are. Anybody who does this is psychotic. All right? And if you're in California, you ought to call the police and have them arrested on a 5150.
Okay.
I'm telling you that. Racism is a mental illness. Have them.
I agree with that.
Okay? Have them get help for this sort of thing before they call the police on you. You call the cops on them. I've done that. You do it too. It's ridiculous stuff. I'm sorry that happened to you, Michael.
Hey, so people getting on me. If it was true, why didn't I sue? Of course, then I put the apology up online, right? And then I'm thinking, and the reason I didn't sue is one, for my headspace, and secondly because the person that did this to me initially, person of color.
What?
Right? Now,
black?
No, he's Latino, right? But
whoa. Time out. Latino white, Latino black, Latino, because there's different. The census has different designations. You can be Latino and still white.
I was married to a Cuban woman. I didn't know there was more than one designation, except she was mine.
Yeah. Well, it's because I'm
no
in
the, how would I know that? How would I know if he was, how would I know if he fell into like any one of those?
They're different.
Well, he was Latino.
Well, you know now.
No, I don't, because I won't be able to know.
White.
I won't even know. I mean, did he look white? Oh yeah, he could pass for white. Yeah, he could pass.
Well,
for white.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, well, that's,
right.
Then
That's
what you should have said.
important.
Yeah, he could pass for a white guy. And what's important is that he was empowered by the aura around him to be able to do some shit like that. So they were going to fire him because I guess they thought that would remove their liability. I said, don't fire him. Mm-mm. He had just got promoted to front desk manager. I said, don't fire him. You might want to demote him or something, but you leave him there. Leave him in that position. And here's my reasoning. And here's why I didn't sue. Because I actually believe in the stuff that my cousin instilled in me. I'm the last fucking person that you can bribe with money. I've been rich and I've lost it all and I've been poor. The thing about being poor is when you don't have money, it's all right. You've been there. I mean, poor people are the most more ingenuity come out of people who are poor, right? How many rich people invented something really cool? I mean, so it's like, dear, I'm gonna put my $4 billion on hold and I'm gonna make something that the world can. Yeah, right. No, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna build a space company and I'm going to space. That's what because that's gonna benefit mankind, right? So, I said, don't do that just, reduce my rent. Because here's my thinking, right? And your mom's gonna love me for this.
Oh, she's off to bed, so I should probably rock myself here.
This interview's over. So,
Mom, are you there?
the next time,
Yeah, she went off to her room there.
I figured the next time that any person, family, or whatever of color walks into that hotel and he's behind that desk and there's no room that they're in, he'll find room. I figured. And that's more important than, to me, than dropping a whole bunch of money on me, because I definitely could have got paid, because there's no way, there's no injustice. How do you defend that? Or Alabama? How do you defend that?
You don't.
You can't. But they knew it, or else they wouldn't have been on the phone with me.
But you know what, though? This is something you should have been on the national news. You should have been on CBS This Morning, NBC, CNN This Morning, all of that. Because
I thought about all that, but but I was, again, you don't care about that stuff like that when you're in that state. That's a much bigger, dude. That's a much bigger story than, that's not fair what I'm about to say. It's not a bigger story. It's a more damning story than what they did to that other brother.
Yeah.
Right? It's absolutely more damning. And both of us had places at that hotel. We not at the same hotel, but we both were. And I'm a gold member. Right? It's like,
wow.
It's just. I mean, because what they do nowadays is that you and I both know 99% of the shit that happens to us, there's no video camera around.
Oh, hey, you know what? I changed that. In fact, I will show you a video. This is relevant to that really changed how people see the cab industry in Oakland. And this was back in 2009. At a time when people thought, hey, you know what? People can just sort of treat you any kind of way that they want to, right? This really changed that. And here's, in fact, I'll repost that. Here is the video. Let me bring this out here. There it is. Okay, now let me go back over here and then grab it and put it on the screen.
Grab it, smack it, rub it down. Oh no. Gonna do me.
And this is my video called Angry Cab Driver, folks. Abandons car and me. This is October 19th, 2009. Actually the same year as Oscar Grant, but earlier, which happened earlier that year. But here it is, okay? Here it is.
Sure. And this is cab number. Hold on, I gotta get my stuff. He's not letting me stuff.
Can you? I want to close this door, please. I gotta secure the cab before I leave.
Well, hold on, let me get my stuff out. That's mine. That's mine.
Get it out.
Okay.
I want to close. I gotta secure the cab.
Now, because you don't want to go as I want, right? Because I'm directing you to go a certain way. This is cab 536, ladies and gentlemen. Friendly cab. Unbelievable. Walking to, where you going, sir? Where you going? Do you know this guy's name? Yeah. Do you know the name of cab number 236? He's just walked off for hire, because what happened was that I basically told this guy, I said, hey, look, I want to go to the BART station. I'm supposed to meet a friend, who's running the marathon, and I'm in a bit of a hurry. And so I asked him to go a certain direction. He didn't. And he just dropped the cab off right here in front of 325 Lee Street here. And said, you can take the keys if you want to. I'm going to secure the cab. He just, he's walking down. Anyway, I'm just standing here. You want me to speak to the main dispatcher? Sure, go ahead. You believe this, folks? Now you have a visual representation of what people talk about when they talk about how terrible Oakland cabs are. Here we go. This is funny. Wow. Now they're going to put me on the hold with dispatcher. I'm going to just turn this off so you're not waiting. But this is interesting. Funny, huh? Wow. Cab marked number 236. And the person has dropped it off in front of a driveway at 325 Lee Street here. where nobody can get out, and just said, take the cab, and he just walked, only because I asked him to go a certain direction, and I was very polite about it. I said, sir, can you, I said, you go up the Lee Street, I wanted to miss the lights, and he just, all of a sudden, and I didn't want to yell, I just said, sir, could you, because I know the streets, and he said, take the cab, you can get, he just pulled over.
That boy was mentally.
So I'm making a video of this, talking to you on the phone. I accept your apology. Can you get somebody by here that would take me to where I need to go? And now I got a cab in your guy's name, Friendly Cab, that is standing over here that somebody's going to tow, because I'm sure the landlord doesn't like. I meant Lennox, not Lee. Sorry about that. Yeah. Hey, this is Lennox, right? Yes. Well, they're going to send another cab. Of course, I could walk. I really didn't need to take the cab. I'm in a hurry. But, time is, who cares now, right? Got to make a phone call. At any rate, this is why it's better not to take a cab in Oakland. Because if you know where you want to go, if you're kind of like of a New York style like I do, if you will, or Chicago style, and you know where you want to go, and you just politely say, hey, by the way, can you take this one? Remember Broadcast News and Holly Hunter? Like that kind of thing? You know where you want to go. You're being polite about it. Not here. They want to take you the slow way so they can milk your dollar and waste your time. This is the result. A cab on 324 Lenox Street parked right in front of the driveway of these poor people. He just stopped us. He said, I can even take the cab. Like, I'm really going to want to do that. Oh, boy.
See, that's why
Anyway, they're sending a cab, and heck, by now I could have just walked, really, but it saved a lot of time. But, again, all they did was say, hey, can you turn down, take Van Buren until it runs out, and turn left, and we'll avoid the lights, and we'll get there a lot faster. That's all. And that was it. Anyway, you saw the rest of the reaction after I pointed the camera at him. He's like, take your stuff out of the car and all that, and yeah. But look where he parks, right here, right in front of this building where nobody can. And they got a car about to come out right now, and that car is going to have to go here, to get out, to get through this like narrow pathway. Crazy. Oh. And so there's the other. Great. Okay.
He was that.
And see, I don't know what the guy did with the keys. I think he just walked off with them. Hilarious. Just flew the coop.
And that is why you should always make a video. And that was 2009, and that for its day went viral. And in particular, it was very popular among the same cab company. And they said, "Oh yeah, we saw you're in our training sessions now." Well, I should hope so. And that was before, and that's one reason I contend why people started using apps like Uber and Lyft, because that would happen to people, but there was no camera or visual evidence until I came along, because this is in the early days of YouTube. YouTube was, founded in 2005, and the YouTube Partner Program was just in 2000, right?
2005, shit.
Yeah, but I was one of the first people on the YouTube Partner Program. They invited me to be on the YouTube Partner Program. So, in fact, that year was my first year on the YouTube Partner Program. Actually, 2008 was my first year. Excuse me. They started in 2007. And so, and they invited me on, and so I went to, I took YouTube to the Democratic National Convention, made some great videos there. But anyway, my point is that that was the dawning of the power of video to tell a story and change perceptions about how Black folks are treated. Because imagine if I just told that to somebody, it doesn't have the same impact, does it?
Oh hell no.
Right.
Hell no. Oh, that takes me back to that the big lie when it comes to this woman talking shit. If there was no videotape, she gets some traction.
Right. Exactly. And that's, you always make video of stuff that happens.
I do, except that sometimes I can't. It's funny, but sometimes people figure out that's not a joke when I was a child. I have a video. Wayne Brady does all these great videos. Wayne Brady does all these great videos on Instagram. So I was gonna cut one of the things that he did, and he does it with his daughter, and maybe sometimes his daughter's girlfriend or his girlfriend. But he does it, and it's very, very. It's not only fun. It's like anybody that would go on Instagram and do something like that, right? I mean, he's not being Wayne Brady, the superstar. He's being Wayne Brady, the dad, hanging out with his daughter, and it's cool, right? So I was going to interject this one in there, but then I decided not to because I didn't want to take it away from Wayne.
Yeah, copyright stuff. Yeah, they'll give you trouble.
No, this is it's on TikTok.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is on TikTok. I mean, and this is one of those things that everybody was doing a video to.
Oh, okay.
It's you know.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
I'm always paranoid about that as a YouTube partner.
I understand that. I understand that. You just don't, you just don't want my video to be cooler than your video. I understand that, man.
No, I just don't want my monetization.
No, that's right, man. We have a video. You know what, man? Let's talk more about how you grew up.
Actually, let's do this because it's 3:10. We've been out. It's 3:20 in the morning.
I'm just hanging out because I'm all alone out here, and I'm afraid to go out. I live in a white neighborhood, so
Oh, hey, well, you know what? I got to go and make sure Mom gets to bed.
Yeah, man. Hey, I appreciate the time.
Yeah. Hey, this is
only 30 seconds.
Michael. This is epic. This is epic. Okay.
30 seconds.
All right, 30 seconds.
It's funny. Like your honeymoon night. I'm here all week. There you go.
All right. Okay. Yeah. Oh. There it is.
It's me and my friends. Walk in, walk out, let's go. Walking out.
There we go.
It's me and my friends. Walk in, walk out, let's go.
I should do that for my little cousin because she thinks that I'm funny. That's for her birthday.
Oh, this has been epic, man.
Well, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
You know how long we talked for? This is 3 hours. 3 hours and 12 minutes and counting. Hey, Michael.
We talked for 3 hours?
Let's stick around in the background. Anything you want? 3 hours and 12 minutes and 29 seconds and counting.
Man, I mean.
Yeah. Hey, Michael. Any parting thoughts for the audience? We'll stick around in the background.
My papa was a great old man. I can see him with a shovel in his hand. Education he never had. He did wonders when the time got bad. I believe the children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the words I don't remember.
The beauty they possess inside.
Give them a...
There you go.
But,
so we got to have you back. Stick around the back.
Talk about the stuff I want to talk about. Yeah, I like to do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
That whole school thing, man. That's a tragedy. That word.
Oh, completely.
All right, seriously, I need to keep you to that because that's important. Because
yeah, please do.
That prompt. Yeah, so I'll do this again with you. Yeah, but
this is iconic, man. This is
and it should happen in Black History Month because that article. This is about the school thing. That's important, man. That's a big deal.
Yeah. This is
nobody else on the planet has been able to do that.
No.
DC, Lucas Learning, MouthWorks. Nobody's been able to get those things into the school system but me.
Wow.
And I get no props.
Wow.
And it's been there for 25 years since I was 3.
What?
Exactly.
That.
Exactly.
Well,
25
Michael,
years.
Stick around in the background, folks. We'll be back tomorrow with more. Subscribe to Zenny62.
Yeah, subscribe.
Bookmark oaklandnewsnow.com. The icon on Black History Month. The icon. Thank you, Michael. God bless you. Stick around in the background, Michael. Don't go anywhere.